the info. It's the man with the info. Whatever you want to know, come join the man with the info show. It's the info. It's the info, man. You can call them information info, man. Kicking knowledge all over. We ain't lose the draw. You can bring your hate team, but if you want to win, please don't bring your debate team. We talking Japanese, so good.
All right, everybody, this is Information Man. I've got a great crew of brothers on the show tonight. We've got my man Art, the brother, the professor, as I call him. We got my man, he's back. I have to go AM coast to coast on this. Where has one black in Japan been? It's been a mystery. We've been wondering where he's at. We thought maybe he was missing, that the white man might have snatched him up, but I know that he's been spending time where it counts, and that's with family. It's beautiful to have black in Japan here. And then we have the man, the musical genius himself, powerful beats. I got to get him to make me some beats too. We've got CRU with us. Yes, CRU. And then the one and only real Aaron Collins out of the LA area by way of Chicago, Chi-Town. This man is a genius. He is in the film producing, creating. That's the brother's goals and dreams in the LA area. Aaron Collins. And now, with all ado, he is the man, the Prophet of Thought series, the one and only. Oh, yes, the one and only Brother X, Prophet of Thought series. Make sure you catch his show. He does a hell of a job every Wednesday night, Thursday night. The brother is dynamic. T.O.P. Now, another man who cannot be underrated, cannot be denied. A fantastic brother, has a fantastic channel, which you should get your ass over there and support his channel. What are you afraid of?
There's nothing to be afraid of.
It's the one and only JT, Underrated Darkness. All right, folks. Information Man is here. Tonight, what I'm going to do with the distinguished guests that we have on the panel is I want to give you some updates on what's going on in the situation with Melissa and Danye Jones in the area of St. Louis, Missouri. I had a chance to talk to Brother Maurice Muhammad tonight. I was on Life Machine Powers show. Give that brother some love and go over there and support and love his channel. Every man on this platform, go and love on their channels. Now, what I want to say, I want to give you some updates because I know that Radical Sister did a dynamic video where she brought Melissa on the show. The brother was on there once again, and they were speaking upon what is happening down there in that treachery of St. Louis, Missouri. And they supposed to be called the Missouri, if I'm not mistaken, is the show me state. And they ain't showing us real truth down there as it relates to Danye Jones. So let me give you some updates based on the information that I have, because I actually talked to Brother Muhammad live tonight, not too long ago. And I'm going to read this. This is a statement from Brother Maurice Muhammad that was sent out with the lovely and most powerful video from the Radical Sister. And he states here, we have succeeded, family, in getting the report. The goal is, what he meant by saying we have succeeded is that the pressure that you all put on calling the number. And I've had people tell me that they were getting very annoyed by all the phone calls. They were very rude to people that were calling. They were telling people that, yeah, we're going to have that report ready. So I think the pressure that everyone put on them, it did work. He says here that on Tuesday, tomorrow, they're supposed to get the coroner's report. However, Brother Maurice Muhammad reported to me tonight live on LMP's channel that they're pretty much still sticking to their conclusion that it was a suicide, that Donye killed himself. And by all accounts that we've heard from the family, there's something that doesn't smell right, and they don't believe that that is true, which is why the family is going to use the money from the GoFundMe that everyone has been generously putting money over there. They're going to use that to hire a private investigator. They're going to use that money to get a private examination to double check the findings of the St. Louis County Medical Examiner's Office, because they don't trust them, people. I don't trust them. I don't think you should trust them either. Okay. So that's very important for us to understand here. Let me read on. Now, he says this. Now our new target is for the Nation of Islam to call them, to force them to make their word bond. Word is bond. You must be a man of your word. You must be a person of your word, right? To make their word bond. And that bond is that they would provide security and protection for the family. Brother Muhammad left a number, and that number, as read here, is 773-324-6000. I'm going to put this number in the chat room so that all will have this number. I'm going to put the link to the other video that the Radical Sister did. I believe this video was done on Sunday. Okay. So once again, the number is 773-324-6000. Call that number, and you can call it with respect and just say to the brothers of the nation in that area of St. Louis, Missouri, brothers, we have concern for the family. We heard that you were planning to provide them security, and we simply are pleading with you and asking you to please protect this family, because what is happening in St. Louis, Missouri, it stinks to high heaven. There's something going on. Now, there's probably some politics going on behind the scenes that we don't know about, and I wasn't going to get into that with Brother Maurice Muhammad because I want to be respectful. This is a very sensitive matter, so you don't want to step over toes and all this sort of things. You just want to handle this. And Brother Underrated Darkness said this to me a week when we had the stream last week. What's left out in this is that there's a father who's also feeling pain. The father and the uncle had to take this young man's body down, and that the chair that was used to prop him up on there was far away from him. If I'm going to commit suicide on a tree, how am I going to hang myself and then knock a chair far away from me and then pull my trousers down or my pants down? How am I going to do all of that? And then Sister Melissa said that his hands were clenched, which give an indication that he was fighting his assailants. Okay. Brother T.O.P., Brother Prophet of Thought, he has experience with consoling family members and dealing with this such treachery. So we're going to have him, from his expert background and experience with this, we're going to have him speak as well tonight, if he wants to add any thoughts to what he thinks is going on. And what he said a week ago was the truth, like butter, because he said they're taking their time because they're trying to get their stories together. They're trying to get their lies together. They're trying to manufacture the technology so they can put that out to the public, and at the same time protect the police department, the county coroners, and protect these damn ratchet police officers that they have down there in that Ferguson, Missouri, St. Louis County. And the individual police officer who was laughing, as Sister Melissa was saying, laughing, come to find out, she said when he gave her his card, this police officer was out of his jurisdiction. He works in the airport as a detective. So there's some fishy stuff going on. You've got activists like Darren Sales, Crawford, and some others that have been killed mysteriously. I think Brother Maurice Muhammad said there's been 23 people that have been killed that had relationship to the protest down there in Ferguson during the Mike Brown circumstances. And so we got to examine this, look at this. I just wanted to put this information out tonight as to what's going on. So as the discussion that we have tonight, because what brothers are going to do, we're going to speak upon any issues that brothers want to speak about tonight. But as we speak upon our other issues, I am going to put the information that I just read to you in the chat room so that you can have the number. And if you also want to look at Radical Sister's video that she did after I did my video with Sister Marissa. So thank you for being here. Those that are out there listening in the chat room, I'm going to be calling out names from time to time. Peace and love to you. But with all further ado, let's get into this show. And I'm going to start out of respect. I'm going to start with my man, Prophet of Thought Series. Thank you for being here, brother, and render your thoughts as it relates to these issues that I brought up or anything that's on your mind, brother. Thank you.
Well, first, peace. Thanks for having me on, brother Info Man. Peace to the panel. I see my man BIJ up here. See him up here. Ain't talked to that brother in a while. But as y'all all know, brother Muhammad was on my stream last week on Wednesday. And we spoke about this stuff in depth on Wednesday. And we pretty much covered what you're covering tonight. Those of you who follow the Prophet of Thought series, you know that, I mean, this is case number, I don't know what for me. I've had so many mothers of killed children on my show, I've lost count. Okay, so that kind of lets you know where we are as far as TPOT is concerned. You know, we've had everybody from Gina Best to Monteria Robinson on our show. Unfortunately, this is in our wheelhouse, like I always say. As far as the case is going now, I mean, I've had my people call, and I've even called a few times myself. And for the most part, they're giving everybody pretty much the runaround. Brother Muhammad, when he was on the show Wednesday, he played a call, and they gave him the runaround too. They're pretty much giving everybody the same kind of blanket statement. From what I understand and from what people have told me, they only want to talk to the immediate family and or the family's legal counsel. That's the story that everybody's giving me, and that's the story that I got when I called. When I did get someone, a couple times I called, I didn't get anyone. But the one time I did call, that's pretty much what they were saying. They only want to speak to like the immediate family or the family's legal counsel, which I am neither nor, so I didn't get too much of anything. Far as them coming up with the autopsy report tomorrow, that's the first I've heard of it. I haven't checked my emails. I'm pretty sure Brother Muhammad has let me know that, because me and him, we have been kind of in as this case goes. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. It's the same old run-of-the-mill stuff. When one of these young black folks turn up dead, there's always a smoke screen. There's always a bunch of having people chase their tails. There's always one story, then another story, then another story, then another story. And unfortunately, folks, we're probably not going to get to the bottom of this for quite some time. These stories, you never get to the bottom of them when they're fresh. It usually takes a while. You know, it usually takes some digging. It usually takes some investigating, and it usually takes some catching some folks in their lies, unfortunately. It's fresh, you know, it's only a few months old. So the fact that they're putting up smoke screens and telling lies and got everybody chasing their tails, especially the family, doesn't shock me at all. It's nothing that I haven't seen before. As far as what we can do is continue to apply the pressure. I mean, obviously, you know, pressure breaks pipes. So they've gotten so many calls, and they've gotten so inundated with people calling, showing their concern, wanting information, that they're finally going to come through with the report. Now, mind you, all their stories have to line up when you're talking about the district attorney, the medical examiner, the police force, the police chief. I wouldn't even be surprised if they came out with some type of little default press conference in front of City Hall or the courthouse or possibly the coroner's office. I wouldn't be surprised at that at all, because they probably have to make some type of public appearance, you know, get it out there on TV and get that narrative going, because they feel that these things will dissuade the family and convince the family that what they're saying is true. They figure if they get enough eyes on it, that will control the narrative. But what I would say to Brother Danye's family, his mother, his father, and everyone else, to just keep pushing, and it'd be a very good idea. I'm glad that they're getting an independent autopsy as opposed to just listening to what, you know, the city's medical examiner is saying, because you always find out new shit when you get your own independent autopsy. Because trust me, the coroner, he works for the city, so he's in cahoots with the city too, you know, especially if they're trying to cover some shit up. So probably be best for them to get someone independent in there, someone, because that's when you're going to get the truth. You're not going to get the truth out of these people. It's just not going to happen. It's my belief, Brother Muhammad, I said it's a possibility that he may not killed there. He may have been taken somewhere and murdered and brought back there and hung on that tree as a sign, as a message to others. Mom, time. I mean, there's so many things that we don't know. Okay, unfortunately, these things comes out tomorrow, and you'll know the real truth when they get the independent report. So until then, we're playing the waiting game, folks. Unfortunately, we're playing the waiting game.
Brother Underrated Darkness, do you have anything you wanna say, brother, as it relates to this issue, or anything that is on your mind? Brother JT?
All right here. Like Popular Thought said, we just got to keep on pushing. We just got to keep on the pressure, and let's stay united. Let's not drop the ball on this one. Nah. And that's all I can say for now, brother.
Okay. We got Brother Bitter Truth on. I need to talk to him. Brother Bitter Truth, are you there?
Yeah, I'm like in the bed, so I'm trying to figure out what's up.
Brother, we're having a stream. I want to let you know something right now. This is related to the situation with Sister Melissa. Right now, Sister Melissa, Danye Jones, the mother of Danye Jones. This is a follow-up show related to that issue. I just was giving up some follow-up information that's been put out there, and I wanted to bring you on because I know that you were very concerned about the sister.
Send me that invite.
I know, but brother, right now, I just want to let you know that I know you were very concerned about the security of the sister right now, and how that is being handled. And right now, there's a lot of things going on, but as far as we know right now is that the nation is supposed to be providing security for her in that area. But I don't know what the politics that are happening, that are going on. But supposedly, Brother Maurice Muhammad send out a number, which I put in the chat room, and I have a description of this video I'll be putting in there for all of us to call and encourage the nation down in that area to let their word be their bond, because for whatever the reasons are, and I don't know the details behind that, they have been slow, or it appears that they have been slow with providing her security. And so he's calling for everyone to call the number, which I put in the chat room, and I can rattle it off and
so
encourage
you
them.
telling me that the Nation of Islam, who's supposed to be, well, I mean, they're a church. You telling me the Nation of Islam or the Church of Islam is unable to provide security for a woman whose son was found hanging in her backyard, most likely done by law enforcement, because as we know, races have penetrated every avenue of our lives, especially any type of governing body. That's why nobody's been found, nobody's been caught. You understand? Out of all the cases.
Yes.
Right. So let's not mince words. So you telling me nobody stepped up to do it?
What I'm here to tell you is, like I said, I don't know what is going on down there in that area in terms of the background politics. I was under the impression that they had her back in terms of security. Maurice Muhammad is telling all of us to call the number, put pressure. I can't. That's why I said I can't believe.
I'm not calling no number to put no pressure on nobody like that works.
Brother,
the chick, look, the plain and simple.
Brother,
wait a minute. No, you
Brother,
called me and you asked me. I'm already in bed. Let me get this out. Just let me get this out. Just let me get this out. Because do understand, I'm in the bed. I got to be up at 3.
I understand that, but this is not us. I'm not trying to turn this into a video.
I'm not trying to turn it into nothing either. What's my name? Am I not the bitter truth? I'm not the half truth. I'm not the soft truth. I'm not the buttery goodness truth. I'm the bitter truth. I'm bottom lining it. And I'm a bottom liner right now. Instead of all this, trying to get somebody to do something, somebody need to slip that sister a pistol, a can of mace, and a freaking stun gun. Okay. Mm-hmm. And need to show her quickly, how the business end of a pistol work. Because, ain't nobody else going to do it. The rest of us, we can't do it because we all got lives of our own to live. But she's not the one in danger, because if you actually pay attention to what's actually happening, they ain't touching the women. They killing the men. So we need to find out who's next, or who's possibly the next 5 on the list. And them brothers the ones that need, them the ones that need the handgun and the mace. You know what I'm saying? Because they the next targets.
Yes, you're right. From what I understand, the family does have they have their ammo. And they said they didn't want to deal with the police. They didn't go to the police when they were first being stalked by individuals, because they knew they couldn't trust the police. I'm saying to you, brother, I'm not disagreeing with you. I am agreeing with you that I think it is a shame to a certain degree that at this stage of the game that we do have to call the nation and remind them to make good on their word. I think it is a shame that we have to do that. I think it is, because from what I know, they said that they were going to provide security. And Maurice is basically saying, the brother Maurice is saying that their word needs to be bond. That's why he wants us to call and put pressure on them. Should we have to put pressure on a black religious organization that's supposed to be for the betterment of black people? I say, hell no, we shouldn't have to. I apologize for waking you up, brother. I know that you are far East Coast or far distance from me. But I felt like I needed to get you in on this issue because you were definitely most concerned about the security and the strategy around that security for this sister. So I thought it was relevant.
No, it's fine. I just knew it was going to be some craziness. I could smell it. I could smell it a mile away. And the last time we had this discussion, which was a week or 2 ago.
Yeah, that's right, brother.
Yeah, I was pretty much saying that. Like, this don't smell good. It don't smell good. It don't sound right. It don't feel good. It don't taste good. This sounds like some bull crap, and that's exactly what it turned out to be. Now, is there anything else you want me to add before I go?
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, but let me finish with my dear brother.
Go ahead.
Bitter truth, brother. You said what needed to be said. The only reason why I was trying to cut in because I don't want to turn it into a hit piece on the sister or anybody else. Not that you're doing that, okay? But I understand how you feel, why you said, now it all comes to make sense to me, why you said what you said a week ago, because here we are a week after. We were able to accomplish one goal, which was to put pressure on the coroner's office to give up that report for tomorrow. Hopefully that's coming. We know that's going to be a bullshit report, though. And now here we are having to tell our own people who look like us, supposed to be for us, hey, give the sister some security. That's a damn shame. But that's where we find ourselves. Brother Black in Japan, you had something you wanted to say to Brother Bitter Truth before he gets the sleep that the brother needs. Sorry for disturbing you tonight, brother, but I had to get you in.
Like when y'all were talking, I was about to say the same thing that he just said out of his mouth.
Okay.
See, but I'm expanding. How many black people, like, you know, from me being in the hood, I had to go find a temple, a Nation of Islam. You got to go find one of those. You ain't got to find a church.
Okay.
They everywhere. You ain't got to find a drug dealer on the corner. They everywhere, right? So all them black people in that neighborhood should be security. So hold them accountable. You talking about the nation. The nation should have been the first one showing up. You shouldn't even have to call them. See, the nation used to do that. The 5%ers used to do that. Everybody used to do that. You ain't had to do that. Now you got to do it, right? Now you got to call them and put pressure on them to show up to give this sister some type of security. How about we put pressure on black people, period?
Mm-hmm.
Not just the nation, just put it on black people, period. Just put it, everybody that's in that neighborhood should show up and get that sister security. But if you waiting on some religious entity and somebody that's following some religious doctrine to get some money out of you, to just jump on it so to make them look good, right? Forget the nation in that area. Why don't you call the minister himself that's in charge of the whole nation? What he doing? Call him. I know he see the headlines. I know he see what's going on. They going to move according to his whim. So you put pressure on the leader. Don't put pressure on some place. Look, they probably underfunded, they probably undermanned, and they probably forgotten about. Right? So you go to headquarters. Where's the headquarters? Contact the headquarters and tell them this is what's going on.
You know what? You 100% right. And if you notice, do remember when the whole Michael Brown incident jumped off, you didn't see not nary a member. But I'm not trying to slam the nation. But just so you know, I guess, brother in Japan, if you really look at it, if you look at the after effects when the election took place, only 3 of the 6 seats changed hands. And how many of them 3 changed hands from a white person to a black person?
Oh man, listen. All right, look.
Exactly. Look. So hold on. Let me get this out so I can go to bed. Them people out there, they scared. You understand? They scared. They shell shocked. This is why their murders are going not only unpunished, but also unsolved. They ain't even trying. It's like Gotham City cops trying to find out who was Batman. You know what I'm saying? You can forget it. So over there they defeated. They are defeated in the area, and I know they terrified and they want to get up out of it. But at the same time, they're more afraid than they are fighting mad.
But ain't that the same area where the dude right on camera got shot in his car in front of a child? Ain't that the same area?
We talking about Ferguson.
That's Ferguson, but ain't that in St. Louis too? That's still in the same state, right?
The guy you talking about, Philando Castile, that was up in Minnesota.
Minnesota, right? All right, so
that was up in Minnesota.
So we got Mike Brown. Listen, this is how this works, right? Because I watched the riots in Baltimore. I watched what happened, right? And you know what I'm saying? And I could tell the people that were rioting was plants, right? I could tell they was people they bust in to go start messing up stuff. I can tell that, right? So because people in Baltimore do certain things and they act a certain way and they talk a certain way, right? Those people that were doing what they were doing were brought in to start stuff. They were plants, right? So this is when I know that the cop is going to get off, is when the family come out before the verdict. When the verdict take too long, the family come out and say, we just want peace and this. They got paid off. They got paid off.
They start talking that Rodney King shit.
Right. Yeah, they start talking Rodney King. Yeah, because when the family is not there to be there, when they're prosecuting the cop or whoever did it that they find guilty, right? When the family is not there to be on the witness stand, to talk to the jury, that means they got paid off. They're sitting in the audience in the courtroom, but they won't go up. And you supposed to, during legal proceedings, give a testimony about the person as their personality, right? It's called a
victim impact statement.
Exactly. This will move the jury to basically side on the side of the person or the victim, right? They do this all the time, right? They killed a white woman. A cop killed a white woman and he didn't go to jail. Right? So cops, for a cop to go to jail, listen, a cop will never go to jail because I'm going to tell you why. The first time, once they find that the cop is unequivocally guilty, like in North Carolina when a cop shot the black dude in the back and then he planted the taser on him. And then luckily there was a dude that was standing by and he had a recording of it. You know what they did? They immediately fired him from the police department. Now he's a regular citizen. So even if he goes to jail, he's not a cop anymore.
But he can get a job somewhere else.
No,
if he gets found not guilty.
If he gets found not guilty. But if they know that he's going to get found guilty, they fire him immediately from the police department.
Guilty. He got found guilty as far as I know.
Yeah, he was found
guilty. 2 trials.
Yeah.
Because the first trial ended in a hung jury. A hung goddamn jury.
Yeah, and they had to bring it back, right? But see, what was the thing is when they released him and fired him from the police department, right? Then he got found guilty, right? Everybody that goes to jail that's a police officer that gets found guilty, they are fired from the police department. You know why? Is because they do not have, think about it, the police works with the prosecutor. The prosecutor works with the police department. Most prosecutors that are up there have some type of lineage in the police department. They got their dad used to be a police officer. They might have been a police officer, went over to be a prosecutor. You're dealing with the Department of Justice went in there during Ferguson and said they found so many social justice violations that they head was spent. Right? So
they had to shut down the department.
They had to just shut it down. They had to shut down the whole department and go through it, right? So right now, you already know that you can't even hold that part of the nation right now accountable for anything because they are probably undermanned, underpowered, underfunded. They are in enemy territory surrounded on all sides. What you need is not one entity, but a group of a monolith to come together to protect this and make this a statement. You need to hold everybody under the sun and everybody that's on Black YouTube right now need to stop talking about I can't get a girlfriend for 5 seconds. Right? Stop talking about beta male coons and all this other stuff. And talk about this right here. Like use your 40,000 subs, your 50, 60, 70,000 subs, your 9 to 8 hour hangouts and talk about this shit right here until somebody pick it up. Next time we see a brother with 800,000 subs jump on somebody's panel and he's talking about some fuckery and he's about black people, he need to start talking about this. You got 870,000 people that you can reach with the sound of your voice, then you need to talk about this sister's predicament.
Thank you. What you just said need to be said. We spend too much time on the bullshit.
Ain't no money in it. Ain't no money in it.
Exactly.
And the people, because as I've said, a lot of people see this shit as entertainment. That's not entertaining. They want to talk about relationships. That's what's entertaining to them.
But if
that's why what the show I did last night, I led with the serious shit first because I knew the goofy shit was gonna go longer. And it's kind of funny, like information, man. If you go look at the comments on the last night's video, you see they talking about the serious stuff. They only talk about the goofy stuff, which is weird. It was actually kind of weird that's what they were talking about, but that's fine. But anyway, let me get out of here, man. I got to get up early, and like I said, we ain't got no TSA agents, so that puts added pressure on my department. And my crew is pissed.
Brother Bitter Truth, thank you for being here and your statements, brother. I respect you. Thank you. All right, brother.
All right.
We'll be connecting again soon. Thank you.
All right, y'all have a good one.
All right, brother.
Peace. Well, I want to say
that was brother Bitter Truth.
I want to say this, and I see my man, brother Muhammad, up on the panel. What's good, brother? Me and brother Muhammad, we talked about this before. I don't think I don't think we necessarily need to be relying on the nation at this point when it comes to, protecting Lady Melissa. I mean, we may have to go another route as far as, as far as the protection of her goes. I mean, I think that to rely on the nation is being a little short-sighted. I think we need to, expand how we do this a little bit, and get some other people involved, just like Brother B.I.J. said. Maybe we need to get some other people involved as opposed to just relying on one entity. We should be relying on many entities, because they obviously are under threat. They obviously, have people on the premises and do harm. So we need to be reaching out to a few entities, not just one. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion.
No, I totally agree with you. But we got Brother Maurice Muhammad on right now, as Brother Prophet of Thought has just stated. Brother Maurice, you've heard what has been said. There is some frustration out there. I do believe what Brother Bitter Truth said is true, that we're at a time and age where we shouldn't have to hope and pray that our own people will come to the support of a sister or any Black family member that is going through something. What are your thoughts?
Yes, sir.
I did read off the information tonight, the number. I put it in the chat room. Go right ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you, beloved, and peace and blessings to the panel. The Nation of Islam. The only reason at this point we are targeting the Nation of Islam is because the Nation of Islam came to her door, and the minister there said that we will supply security for you. Now, that was over 11 weeks ago, and no security as of yet has arrived. And we have said many times before that there is no sidelines. You either with us or you against us. Simple as that. We all know what the Nation of Islam teaches and what the Nation of Islam believes. And security of the Black woman is one of the principal pillars that we operate off of. So in our efforts to force them to make their word bond, this is the time when we all have to put up or shut up. This is a war that we are in, and all of our lives are on the line. Our sister, she already has a weapon. She already has that, okay? But we ought to understand that just because you may have a weapon, it doesn't necessarily guarantee you your safety. Now, she not only has to deal with the pressures that she's dealing with her dead son and her other children that she's dealing with, but she also had the pressures of these people outside of her home stalking and doing this other stuff that they're doing. So if you tell us that you're going to provide security and the Nation of Islam has the best security on the planet, then we expect for you to make your word bond. Now, they have not done that. So just as with the coroner's office, we were making calls and we shut them down, we're doing the same thing with the Nation of Islam. There is no longer will we allow people, and I don't give a damn who it is, to come to us during the time of the morning and say, we're with you. We support the family. But then when we turn around and look, well, where are you? You're nowhere to be found. We're not going to let you get away with that. Anybody. It is better that you tell us we ain't got nothing to do with it and we ain't going to have nothing to do with it. We can respect that, but don't lie and have us expecting a service that you offered and we accept it, and then we're looking for you and we can't find you. And then when we reach out to other members of the Nation of Islam that's in high rank, reach out and say, yes, security should have been there, and I'm going to work to try to get it there. And it's still not there. It's a problem. So that number that we are asking everybody to call, that is the number to Chicago. That is the number to the headquarter mosque of the Nation of Islam, where we're asking people to call and ask for Minister Farrakhan, to ask for Captain Mustafa Farrakhan, who is the Supreme Captain of the Nation of Islam. And we bring it to their attention because I'm quite sure they don't know what has been promised in their name, that the local minister has promised, and that a national representative, Minister Ava, has also promised, and as she is trying to make it happen. So we need to help her by picking up the telephone and making those phone calls. It's very important for two reasons. One, it shows your support of our sister. And then it also shows them that we're not going to take any foolishness any longer. It stops. It stops right here. We all got to own up to the language that we speak. And if we can't own up to the language that we speak, if our people can't count on the words that come out your mouth, then shut the hell up. Then we don't need you speaking before our people, because the words that you speak are lies. And we have suffered from lies for too long now. So we gotta have truth. We gotta have righteousness. We gotta have justice. Because one day, it may be you. It may be me. It may be our children. So we gotta stand on what's right. We gotta do that. And that's what we're doing. And it's not comfortable. I'm not in a comfortable position. I am a member of the Nation of Islam. I am an FOI. That doesn't make me comfortable to have to do what I got to do, but not to do it would make me into a liar, and I'm not about to do that.
Yes, brother. Yes. Wow, brother Gab, can you render some thoughts, brother?
Hello.
Brother Gab, yes.
Yeah.
You've heard everything.
I'm trying to catch up. I think I understand what the call is about now, bro. You called me. I was asleep.
Okay. So this is the situation. I was on LNP's channel tonight. Happened to contact Brother Maurice Muhammad on the Google Hangout. He gave me some additional information. I've been putting in the chat room the number that he wants us to call that goes directly to Chicago to get this information to the minister, Louis Farrakhan, Honorable Louis Farrakhan. And you heard brother Bit of Truth that was on. You heard Black in Japan speak. A lot of brothers are emotional about this issue because we're saying to ourselves at this state of the game, why is this sister not having the security that she needs? What the hell are we doing as a community, as a people? And I want to get your thoughts. We got brother BGS who has done and has come into the chat room to honor us onto this panel. So I definitely want to get brother BGS's opinions as well. But Gab, you've been involved in this too, brother. You came to me originally with brother Maurice Muhammad, and I was graciously felt honored that you would want me to interview this sister during this time. And so I have to let you speak your piece on this.
Okay. Yeah, this is the portion of about the security. I do believe that the people of the community that were willing, like I said, the people that are willing to help should be a part of the security. And I know it's going to be a touchy situation for various reasons, such as time, resources, the will itself to actually be a part of it, and the protocols that involve the various entities that have been contacted to provide the security. I've been a non-active member of the nation for in excess of 20 years now. So in terms of what the protocol might be to handle something like this, I didn't even know what that protocol was when I was in there. I just know that certain things we provided security for. I used to help out the NOI security I didn't work for NOI security, but I used to help them cover down on certain projects. So I'm unaware of what that protocol might be. So I'm not in any way prepared to state or run a campaign online about how the Nation of Islam handles this sort of business. I feel the passion of what Brother Maurice, the position that he might be in as a leader in this effort, to be promised something and not receive it. So I get it. But I will, as a formal member and respectful, certain protocols that exist in the Nation of Islam are kind of reserved that for something that should probably be taken up behind the scenes. That's my piece.
Brother Gab.
Yeah, can I just ask? Can I just ask Brother Muhammad something?
Hang on, Brother Gab. I want to thank you for those statements that you made. Okay, brother, I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, indeed, and again, man, I understand the passion of everybody that's on the panel, and I'm just this is highly sensitive, and it does call for a lot of love, a lot of will, and a lot of nerve for people to want to be involved in something that has apparently already claimed the lives of many. Okay. So it's going to be that type of thing. So the sensitivity that is in the air is definitely understandable.
Okay. So
I just don't want to. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go finish what you were saying, Gab, and then I'm going to go.
No, I didn't want to fan the flames of things that I don't know much about.
Exactly.
At this time.
You know what? That's exactly my position. I didn't really want to start delving into areas. That's why I kept saying I don't understand fully the politics behind the scene down there completely. But there are a lot of things that are concerning me, but it does not change the fact that I know what we should be doing, and that is rallying behind our people in circumstances like this. What I'm going to do is I want to let Brother X, Prophet of Thought Series, say what he wants to say next. And then I want to give, we have Brother BGS who's come on to the platform. I want to get whatever thoughts, knowledge, or wisdom that he wants to throw down before I have other brothers speak their piece as well. So Brother X, go right ahead.
Yeah, Brother Muhammad, did I hear you correctly that it's been 11 weeks since this has been promised? Because that's like 3 months. So it's been that long since they promised her this. I had no idea it had been that long. I had no idea. When we spoke, when you were on the stream last week, I didn't know it had been like, almost 3 months that they've been promising her this. So, I mean, that puts a new spin on things, because now we got to kind of look at them kind of side-eyed now, because, I thought it was maybe, they had been offered like a week, 2 weeks. I didn't know it was almost 3 months. I had no idea. So that changes things. That definitely changes things.
Yes, sir. And because it has been so long, we have been quiet. We've been very quiet about it, and trying to work the vaccines, but it has gotten us nowhere. It's gotten us nowhere. And we have a very aggressive plan of action, but security has to be squared away before we can move to the next stage. And because they have offered, then we expect for them to make that word bond. Now, we've also talked about that we have to raise our own protection. We have to raise our own army to do the things that needs to be done. And what we have to remember in doing that, whenever the enemy wants to get into your organization, the quickest way is to find someone who already has a record and use them as their little rat or their little spy. So because so many of our people do have a record, it's kind of very difficult to shift and weed through who you can trust and who you can't trust. So it's a lot of things that's going on, as our brother said, that goes on in the background, and it slows us down. And the enemy uses that to their advantage. So we have to be able to use everything to our advantage until we can get up on even ground. So it's very important for everybody to pitch in and make that phone call, because you making that phone call, it doesn't necessarily say that you're an enemy or an adversary to the Nation of Islam. It says to the Nation of Islam, look, you gave your word and you have taught us through the years that your word should be your bond. So now we need you to make your word bond. That's what we're asking you to do. So if you feel what our sister is feeling, if you understand the plight that we are in as a people, then please make that phone call. There is no sidelines for any of us, even though we may not understand all the workings. But I'm coming and I'm asking to make the phone call, because you making that phone call is very important, because it can pressure them to do what their word said they would do. And if they do that, that makes it more secure. Then we can go to the next phase. Then I can ask you to do this, and then I can ask you to do that. But we gotta have the security there for her protection. And I thank you, beloved.
Okay.
Do we? Well, we know that the men of the nation. Do we know who's in charge in the St. Louis area? Do we know who that person is that's in charge? Do we know that person?
That is that's Minister Donald Muhammad from Mosque number 28.
Got it.
And the reason we decided to call Chicago was he came the day everything broke. He came out to the house and he spoke to her and promised her security. And he's been out there 3 or 4 times and made the same promises, but he has not fulfilled his promise. Our sister was on Minister Ava's program. She is a national representative of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. She was shocked that the FOI had not showed up at this point. She made assurances that she would do all that she can to make them make their word bond. It hasn't happened. So now we're saying, okay, well, let's call Chicago. Let's call the minister. Let's call the Supreme Captain, make them aware. And then now that they're aware from the top, then they can say, go do, because they can pick up a phone quicker and say, why is this not happening? And men will show up at that door to provide the security that they should have done 3 months ago.
I'm not trying to sound like something off the wall here, but if the person that's over the St. Louis area, he promised this, and he's been to a house 4 times, and Minister Ava is, you know, the representative, the national representative, and the sister was on her show and said they're shocked and nothing's happened in 3 months. if these people are in the nation with this power, knowing about what's going on, and they can't get the nation to move, then we need to find someone else that is outside of the nation that will provide the security by the time they get their ass off their hands. If you ain't doing it, then we'll do it ourselves, or we'll find the people that will do it until you arrive, right? So it's like the fire department always show up before the damn police and the ambulance, right? So this is what I'm saying. 3 months and something could have happened. 3 months they've been isolated and alone, and we still beating on the same doors. That's no difference than black folks praying for Jesus to save them from slavery instead of running away their damn self. Stop depending on religious people to save you and save your motherfucking self.
And you know that is very agreeable, and that is truth, what you're speaking. The thing that we have learned, or that I have learned since I'm newly moved to this area, is that people are definitely afraid. It is what it is. People are definitely afraid. It takes courage for them to come out and do what they do. I mean, if you look at it, they have assassinated over 12 people that were dealing with this Ferguson situation. We know about the Darren Seals and those others, but there have been others that came into St. Louis, Ferguson, to protest, that once they got back to their home, they came up committing suicide with a bullet to their head and their cars on fire. So the people around here understand what's going on, that people are dying. It's like I said, the current count that I received tonight is 11 activists. Some of them are from Ferguson and some of them are outside of the state of Missouri, but they were a leader while they were here and they got back home and now they're dead. So this is the situation that people are dealing with when they're thinking. I mean, if you think about it, Darren Seals, he was murdered. His people ain't open their mouth. And I understand, because they're afraid of what the price is. Like they have said, they don't have the strength that Sister Melissa had. They just don't have it. They just don't. I wish there was at least 10 that thought and felt like me, because you didn't even have to worry about it. We'll take care of it. We'll take care of it. But it ain't. It's not. We have to teach them how to have this strength. But first, they got to get over their big fear of the enemy, because death is real. And when they see the same people that was out front leading and doing this coming up dead, they're getting the message, and they don't want that message to find them. So this is war. And unfortunately, the biggest thing that hurts our people is their fear of the enemy. You're only going to die once.
Well, I'm gonna say this, brother. I would be afraid of an enemy too if you're telling me to fight them with picket signs when they got bullets and AKs and shit. See, that's the problem. See, that's the biggest problem that we have, is this bullshit ass martyrdom of nonviolence and all this other shit. Nobody has gained no freedom in the world by protesting against your oppressors. The only time that it happens, and you can look at the whole history of the world, look at the French Revolution, look at everything. Guillotines, swords, and muskets, straight up. So if niggas don't want to be afraid no more, then it ain't nothing as simple as getting a gun. It's training with it, understanding how to use it. Your enemy is out there hunting every day. They're up there learning how to be tactical. They know how. They teaching their kids at the age of 6 how to load and unload a weapon. You know how? Because look at all these mass shootings. Look at all these. When the last time you seen a black child pull a fire alarm, sit in the bushes, and mow down a whole bunch of people? When have you actually seen that? The only time that the black child is murdering something is we murdering each other. And we always hitting the wrong goddamn target. right? So how about we do this? How about we do this? Let's just say it what it is, right? We take our people, we start training them, right? We start speaking in code, and we start going into militaristic mindsets. Fuck all this goddamn, you want to protest, walk your ass down the street and protest. I'm going to the shooting range. I'm going out here in the woods, and we're going to tactically train on how to sweep and clear a door. One tactically trained Marine held off a whole police squad by himself in an alley, tactically taking cover by himself. Imagine if you get a whole neighborhood of black people doing the same shit. You ain't gonna have that problem too much, are you?
And you know, dear brother, I agree. And when I met with Sister Melissa on the first day that I sat down in her home, and I started my conversation with, justice is not a diplomatic language. Do you agree? She says, yes, I agree. I said, I don't believe in forgiving the enemy. And she agreed. And I said, we're here to take justice. I don't believe in no marching, you know, I'm a man and all that bullshit, because that ain't about it. That ain't going to get us nowhere. She agreed. She believes in those three principles, just like I do. And that's why I stand with her, because she's not one of these. You've seen them. We've all seen people come out and say, I forgive the murderers of my children. She has never done that. She will not do that. You have not seen her come out on no weak stand. You haven't seen it. She's come out very strong and to the point, and she doesn't compromise. She is 100% black first. She is 100% understanding that blood will shed. She understands that. There's no ambiguity about that. We're right on that point.
Brother BGS, you've been patiently listening, brother. Do you have anything that you want to add to the conversation? I'm glad to see you here.
Just a couple questions. One, is there any kind of video security, such as outside cameras, outside surveillance cameras, body cams, anything like that? Is she wearing them? Do her kids have them? Is there any kind of 360 surveillance around the house that's on video that can be uploaded to the web, uploaded to Facebook, or even uploaded to Twitter, where you can actually put some light on these people that are actually circling and surrounding, like license plates, numbers, anything like that? Is there anything like that?
Yes, sir. We do. She does have cameras up front and in the back, but we're still in the process of buying more cameras because there are some blind spots. So that is in the works. Okay. And there is conversation now about getting the personal cameras that you can have on your body, and people not aware that those are what they are.
Second thing is that, I don't know if you're aware of it, there's an anti-lynching bill that 3 black members of Congress are trying to pass. Cory Booker and Kamala Harris are the main 2. And there would behoove us, if we want to actually put more pressure and more spotlight on this particular person, since she's a prime candidate for it. Get with them. Maybe we can email bomb them, Twitter them, so they can actually look into this and make him a cause celeb, actually uplift his name and make his cause their cause. So not only would you get spotlight locally, but nationally, also in Washington, D.C., and maybe you can get some rabbis or somebody to fight for you that actually has some power in D.C., where they can actually put federal agents down there, put pressure on federal agents to actually come down and investigate this. A lot of times we have to get this out of the locality and put more pressure on it. So the thing is, while they need a cause celeb, because they need to rally people around this anti-lynching bill, and you guys need help from them. So that seems like a win-win. What we need to do is get eyeballs on this. So any kind of license plates, other kind of documents, so we can send to them and say, look, you just had a black man, the activist was snatched out of his house and lynched, just like it was back in Jim Crow. It's happening again. Your lynching bill is right on time. Use his name, speak his name on the floor of Congress. that this is happening. This, this is not something that happened 50, 60 years ago. This happened right, a few months ago, right in the center of where all this turmoil is, where people are actually fighting for freedom. Put pressure on them to actually speak his. If you speak his name on the House, on the floor of Congress, I guarantee you these folks will back off. Guarantee.
That is a good point, and we've already been contacted by one senator already about this. So all of that is in the process. We just have to remember this is Trump's FBI house. So since the county has already declared it a suicide, the FBI is not going to come.
They might not come, but the thing is, they're not going to come because we ain't putting no pressure on them.
Yeah, but anytime when they came into office, they already had FBI, quote unquote, watching different police stations or different police precincts that were under, the federal, whatever they called it. And then when Trump got in there, they removed that. So, that's just how that is.
The Democrats want to put pressure on Trump. They want this bill through. So all this stuff adds up. And the thing is, what we didn't do with Barack Obama was actually put fire to the feet. We need to put fire to the feet. We need to get in touch with Jim Clingman. I'm one of the million. There's Dr. Claude Anderson. There's a whole lot of other people that are willing to speak out about this, but you got to get in contact with them. And then you have to do the groundwork. So everybody else has to jump on Twitter, have to jump on Facebook. You have to spread this around. So if you have 5,000 people that actually want to get on Twitter all at one time and make this a issue, guess what it's going to do? It's going to trend. It starts trending. Politicians don't lead, they follow.
Yes, sir. Well, I definitely look forward to your aid in doing that. Let's try all that we can do to make this successful.
Thank you. Let me see something here. BGS, thank you for that, brother, for what you're saying. Everything you're saying, I agree with. We do need to take it to that type of level. You absolutely are correct.
How do you think we got the trial for Trayvon Martin? It was not out of nowhere. We told them black folks, you threatened to disrupt the Republican National Congress. Guess what they're going to do? Convention. That's what they're going to do. They're going to make sure that boy gets a trial. But the thing is, you got to put feet to the fire. And you have to make these people do something. Not, I'm gonna contact you quietly. No, everybody need to get on Twitter. Everybody need to write email to your senator.
That's right. That's right. That's right. All hands on deck.
All hands on deck.
That's right.
And basically, if you got body cams and somebody harass her, don't keep it quiet. Put that stuff up. Shine a light on that.
Yes.
Because the only thing defeats darkness, you guys know that is what? Light, social pressure. Okay, social pressure. You can do a whole lot of stuff. They're not afraid of guns. They're not afraid of violence. What they're afraid of is light, of pressure.
Yes. I had Brother Bitter Truth on earlier tonight. He sort of got our juices flowing tonight because the conversation that we had a week ago, I realized where we are right now with this particular issue as it relates to Sister Melissa and Danya Jones. I realized that what he said last week, the brother was on point because he was very concerned about security, specifically from a military type of standpoint. So he was on point. I sent him a link. He was half asleep, a little grouchy, but we exchanged words, and I told him, you know what, I respect what he said. You know what I mean? I was trying not to make this a trash. To trash the situation in terms of the fact that it's a very sensitive situation. I didn't want to point a lot of fingers because a lot of us, we're not down there in the St. Louis area. We don't know what the politics. So I was trying to be delicate, but he put us in this area that we need to be in. We need it to be where we are right now.
The thing is, we can't all be there, but it only takes you 2 minutes to put a link on Twitter, put a link on Facebook. Put a link on Instagram. It takes you 2 minutes. If you get enough people putting links up, guess what? It'll trend. If it starts to trend, then newspapers will come down and start investigating. okay, then your local congressman will have to start investigating, because now they're going to ask what are you doing, because it's in the newspaper. Everybody knows.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Politicians follow; they don't lead.
That's right. That's right. And guess what? And you know this. Politicians work for us. We don't work for them. But sometimes we almost act like we working for them in some cases. Brother, and I'm going to get to Brother Art, and I know Brother Real Aaron Collins has some things to say, but I have to go to Brother Malcolm Fletch TV, because he is a brother who's a member of the nation. He is in the Southern California, LA area. Brother Malcolm Fletch TV, we're supposed to do an interview tomorrow. I'm supposed to interview you tomorrow, brother, but you're on here right now.
Yes,
this is the issue of the moment. You heard some of what some of the brothers have said. We are fired up tonight. There is emotions in the air. Brother Maurice Muhammad is with us. We've got BGS, CRU is with us. Black in Japan, Brother Art, Real Aaron Collins, Underrated Darkness, and we got my man Prophet of Thought series. We had Bitter Truth that was on with us earlier. Brother Gab was here earlier. He said his piece. What are your thoughts right now, brother, with what you have heard so far?
Yes, sir. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, sir. Can everybody hear him? Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Praise be to Allah. First, I would like to thank all the brothers who are on the panel tonight. I mean, I watch you guys all the time, and you know, make a young brother very proud of you. Brother Maurice Muhammad is another brother that I watch and look up to. You know, very passionate, very fiery, and I just been keeping up with this situation with Sister Melissa and everything that has been taking place. And I thank Allah for you brothers for standing on top of this and shedding light on the situation, because you know, many of us as a whole have dropped the ball on this whole situation. I would like to say, you know, me being a young brother, I haven't been in the nation probably as long as Brother Maurice Muhammad has been in the Nation of Islam, but I have made it to the rank of a student second lieutenant and student minister, so I have somewhat of an understanding of, you know, the workings of how the Nation of Islam operate. You know, I've been I am one of those young brothers who's on the line. You know, I've done security for brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying, sleeping outside of my car in front of brothers and sisters' houses, you know what I'm saying, doing security, you know what I'm saying, for other brothers and sisters in many different settings and in situations, you know what I'm saying, high stress level situations. You know, I've been there and I've done that. You know, I've as a young brother, I put in a lot of work, you know, for my nation. So I understand how we operate. There has been many brothers and sisters just in the Los Angeles city alone, you know, mothers who lost their child and reached out to just a young brother like me. And I'm, you know, a young brother. I ain't nobody. Reach out to me and is asking for help and asking for guidance and asking to speak to our Western Regional Student Minister, Tony Muhammad, you know, and I've always found a way to make these things happen. Just little old me, you know, was able to make certain things happen. You know what I mean? And my dear brother, Brother Maurice, I'm not sure what your status is in the mosque, and this isn't shade or anything to you, dear beloved, but you know as well as I know that we do have a certain protocol, you know, and me personally, as a young brother in the mosque, this is something that I've also heard another brother say on the panel, that this is something that should be back room, because if we want support from the Nation of Islam as a security measure, this is something that shouldn't necessarily be discussed over YouTube. So I gotta be honest. We do teach that our word is bond and our bond is life. We teach that. Okay, and we will give our life before our words shall fail. That is our teaching. But we have to be careful. And just speaking to my dear brother, because I do love and respect my brother. So this is just out of love. We just have to be careful of the language that we using on social media. Minister Tony had pulled me in a gang of times and had to check me for some of the language and some of the things that I say via social media. Me being a member of the Nation of Islam. So this isn't any shade, but we have a certain way that we operate and we have a certain protocol. Yes, if brothers gave their words, the sister gave their word, then we must keep our word bond. There's no arguing that. I don't disagree with that at all. Everything as far as that is being said is correct. That's 100% correct and true. But as far as the language we use, and we have a certain protocol that we and guidelines that we go by, and another thing, just real quick, family, just real quick, because I know tempers is high and tempers are flaring. But one thing that we got to remember that we can't make this an emotional thing. We got to get out of emotion and we got to rise above emotion into the thinking of God. So it is not anything about religiosity, anything. It's just manhood. Because when it comes down to it, straight manhood, men sharpen men like steel sharpen steel, as my captain always taught us. Men sharpen men as steel sharpen steel. So this is a thing. This is the thing. We should always protect our women as men collectively. So we can't just necessarily just say nation, nation, nation. You know what I'm saying? This is all our problem. And when we start taking self-accountability, then the sister, regardless if the nation dropped the ball 11 months ago, we got other brothers to come back on the rebound and say, you know what? The brothers can handle it. Okay, we gonna take it from here and we gonna see what's going on with our brothers. But we don't need to necessarily have this out on YouTube. So we got to kind of take the emotions up out of it, because me being a member, I will go out my way and see who's doing what and see what's going on. You know what I mean? Because that's the type of brother that I am. You know what I mean? But I just wanted to share that. And if anybody would like to respond, then go ahead. But I just want to pull brothers back in. Let's not make this an emotional thing. Let's not play the blame game on anybody. Let's not be upset about the situation, because instead of harping on the problem, we can always come up with a solution. What's the solution going to be?
Thank you, dear brother. And I appreciate everything that you said and love you as well. And I'll go ahead and respond to the things that you said. You started off with protocol, and that everything has a proper protocol. I've been a member of the Nation of Islam for 20 years now. So having the title as lieutenant as well, and captain as well in the southern region, I'm well versed with protocol. Was used, okay? Protocol was used. Again, the local minister came out to the sister's house and said that security was going to be provided. Not just one time, but up to 3 or 4 times. And still, nothing has been done. When she was on Minister Ava's program, and Minister Ava talked to her about it, and Minister Ava said that she was going to look in it, and Minister Ava has kept her word and has been looking in it, but nothing has gotten done. It's still, boom, stuck right there. So that leaves us no other option but to call Chicago and see if Chicago can get it moving. That is proper protocol. We are in a state of war, okay? And it's very easy for people who are disconnected with the realities that our people face on the ground to say to us to drop the emotion. That's easy to say because you're not here. You're not there with her. You don't have to look into her face. You don't have to see her crying. You're not here. And there is nothing that I have said that came from emotion. Everything that I have said, I may have been a little more passionate about it, but it is what it is because lives are on the line. And again, when we're dealing with it from an outside perspective, then it's easy for us to take that approach of let's be calm and let's think. Now, you also said that, which is proper, that, we put our emotions aside and rise up to the thinking of God. But when we rise up to the thinking of God and we understand that the local minister has direct access to Minister Farrakhan and the Supreme Captain, that Minister Ava has direct access to the minister and the Supreme Captain, and evidently it's not moving that way. So then we have to deploy other methods to make it happen. And so if our people call Chicago and say, hey, security was promised to this sister from the Nation of Islam, from Mosque number 28 in St. Louis, and it was done 3 months ago, and it has not been achieved yet. Can you look into it? That's not an error. That's right. That is the right thing to do. And we cannot cover ourselves to say, well, let's just keep it quiet. Unfortunately, keeping things quiet does not produce the proper results. So we are about results. So having our people to make that telephone call, believe it or not, possibly can save lives. And at the end of the day, that's what we're about. Doing it collectively, as I said before, yes, because we cannot count on the Nation of Islam or the New Black Panthers or the NAACP or any of these organizations to do for us what we have to do for ourselves. We can't. That is foolishness on our part to continue to expect people to do what they already should know that they should do. But since it's not being done, then we got to come together and get it done, because sooner or later, there will be another death. There will be another crying and sick family, and there will be more people that have sat on their hands. So people have said that, Brother Muhammad, maybe putting it out on YouTube wasn't the greatest thing. Well, look at the results. We got people talking about it, and that's going to give movement. And I guarantee you, just like the corner got their shit together, the Nation of Islam will get their shit together and make their word bond. It's simple as that. And I make no apologies for that. I am a leader of the group Defenders of Farrakhan that comes on every Sunday. And we take on the people that hate Minister Farrakhan. I love Minister Farrakhan. I love the Nation of Islam. But in this case, our word was not bond, and it was not right. And I'm doing what's right, regardless to whom or what. And again, emotions. We all have fire. We all have love. But what kind of love is it if the love that you have won't make you move heaven or hell to save your people? People criticize Minister Farrakhan for getting out there making a speech about Khalid Muhammad. And in the speech about Dr. Khalid, he referenced that Dr. Khalid was possibly molested. And in that, he said that Dr. Khalid was maybe over aggressively with the masculinity side because of the hurt from being sexually abused. Now, the minister said before he went into that, he said, I don't know whether or not what I'm about to say is right or wrong. I don't know. But he went ahead and he said it. And people vehemently disagreed with the minister for saying that. I look at this case. People are disagreeing, members of the Nation of Islam, some, not all, some are disagreeing with what I have done. But there's a whole lot more that are not on front, but on the backside for being brave enough to say what needs to be said. And it's not really about being brave. It's about my love. And so I can never apologize for doing what's right, regardless of who don't like it. But I guarantee you, it will produce the right results. So I thank you, dear brother, for your comments, and I hope that I have answered everything that you have said.
May I respond?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I admire the courage.
You're having there's some feedback. You got to mute something, brother. There's a lot of feedback.
Can you hear me?
Let me. Yeah. I need to. I want you to say your piece, brother. And after you say your piece, I want to get some other brothers in here so that they can render some thoughts. But go right ahead. You. I think it's only fair for you to be able to say what you need to say at this moment, brother. Go right ahead.
Yes, sir. Like I said, I admire your courage. I admire your bravery, dear beloved. And I appreciate your spirit, more importantly. That's the main thing. One thing I would like to share a light on, because like I said, I already agree with you as far as us keeping our word bond. I'm in agreement with that already, 100% fact. There's no going back on that, you know. And like you said, you know, when you have boots on the ground zero, it's easy to say don't be emotional, dear beloved. But one thing that we have to remember is that brother Danye Jones isn't the first Danye. You know, we had a situation with Ezel Ford out here in Los Angeles. You know, we had several situations out here in LA where the FOI was on the front line. You know, so it's not that I'm speaking from experience, beloved, from what I'm saying. And another thing, and just speaking FOI to FOI, when we have certain grievances with our nation, we don't, and this is what I mean by protocol, because I respect that you had rank in the nation. I respect that. But what I mean by protocol is, beloved, is that when we have a grievance with our nation, we don't deal with our grievances with brothers and sisters who are not registered members in the nation. And this is no shade to my brothers and sisters, my brothers who are on the panel. But I'm just speaking to a FOI to a FOI because brother is a registered member of the Nation of Islam. So when I refer to protocol, that's what I mean, because me as a FOI, if I hear certain grievances from my brothers and sisters who are not in the Nation of Islam, I don't say, you know, and I'm just not any vitriol, this isn't any shade. But me personally, I don't be like, oh yeah, we should have did A, B, and C to my brothers about the nation, to brothers and sisters who are not in the nation. So that's what I'm referring to when I'm talking about protocol, you know. And I think, yes, our sister, dear beloved, you're doing a great work, brother Maurice, putting the sister's story out there. Yes, put it out there. But what I mean by protocol, beloved, I mean by we deal with our grievances about the nation with members in the nation. That's all I'm saying, beloved. But I think this whole panel, brothers, what Information Man has going on the show is a wonderful thing, and I will participate, and I will do videos on this whole situation as well, and grow awareness to the situation, because that's all you're doing. You're not doing nothing wrong, beloved. You're growing awareness. You want people to know what's going on, but we don't address our grievances, beloved.
Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question,
sir.
brother? Now, Who? Okay, now let me get this straight. The sister didn't ask the nation to show up. The nation showed up.
Right.
The nation offered. The nation didn't deliver.
I don't
So if there's a
disagree.
brother now, if a brother is in the nation, holding the nation accountable for what they didn't do, and he's a part of the nation, right? Right?
I'm listening.
And you're saying that he can't air this grievance because I'm not, because is the sister a part of the nation?
Sister Melissa?
The sister that's affected by this situation, is she a part of the nation?
No, sir.
Hold on, brother.
That's why we have a certain protocol.
Hold on, brother.
Yes, sir.
Then if she's not a part of the nation, right, and y'all have a certain protocol, right, then you shouldn't have been offering in the first place. If you have a protocol, don't open your mouth if you ain't going to do nothing.
Point, though, beloved, you missing my point. See, that's why I said we don't need to deal with emotions.
No, it's not emotion. It's like we gotta hold ourselves accountable.
Brothers.
Listen to me. Listen to me.
Okay.
Let me respond.
All right, go ahead, brother. Go ahead, brother.
Let me just
understand something.
Go ahead,
brother Malcolm Flex. Let me just say something real quick. Brother Black in Japan, I totally understand your point of view and where you are coming from. I hear what you're saying. You're saying that if there's a protocol, the sister's not a member of the nation, then the nation should not offer services and not render those services. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. And then I understand. And then I understand, brother Malcolm's point of view as being that he is a member of the nation and there's a protocol that he must follow. And we, looking at the nation from the outside, not being members, some of us, we're looking at it as, hey, if somebody offers me to help me, I expect that help. And I think one of the things that's missing in this, and I think Maurice Muhammad brought this up earlier when he sent the message out, is that your word is your bond. If you say you're going to do something and you put that energy out into the universe, into the atmosphere, and you are an organization that says you are for the betterment of your people, and this is no shade, and a sister is in need or a family, and you put out that offer to them, then I feel that you should fulfill the word that you put out, which will make it your bond. Now I'll stop. That's just my position. That's just my position.
No, brother, I'm not. Listen. Don't understand the difference, like because the way I'm speaking. So let me just calm down like this. I'm gonna calm down. I'm gonna calm down my levels right here. So if you're thinking the emotion and stuff like this, so I'm gonna say it again, just like Information Man said it. You just said that the sister's not a part of the nation. I understand protocol when it comes to a lot of stuff. When you're in organizations, there's protocol. There's certain things that you can't do. When you become a part of an organization, you take an oath that certain things should not be put in public. You have to bring those grievances behind closed doors because your reputation, you must guard it with your life. You are doing your due diligence as a member of the nation, and you are guarding the reputation of the nation by any means possible. And you must quell the situation. And as a representative, you must bring down cooler heads. I get that. I understand that. And I understand what the brother Maurice is doing. He is holding the nation accountable because he sees that the nation should be this way, and we are held as accountable. So here's a question, brother. If he can't air the grievances out that we all know that he put it out that the nation did not do their diligence, not that the nation intentionally did this, because there are protocols that must be followed. If she's not a part of the nation, then there has to be so many people that gives it the okay for the security to go there and do what they need to do. And it's a long process. If she was a part of the nation, this will be easy. It will be no problem. It will be go and make it happen. Because now that she's not a part of the nation, certain protocols must be followed. So someone that's above the brother that's in St. Louis has to give the jurisdiction and the okay for them to act on that behalf, right? You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to say anything because you're probably held to saying you can't say certain things, and this is YouTube. I get it. I understand it. I was in the military, so I understand high levels of security and certain protocols that has to go into place and clearances. But what I am saying is, right, and what a lot of the brothers on this panel was looking at, If the sister went to the nation and asked for this for her, if she asked and said, I need security, and you brothers are the only ones that can do it, and they said, we can do it for you, and then they went through the processes, and the brother kept coming back and saying, we are bringing security is on its way. That's a different subject, because now you're talking about protocols. She's not a part of the nation. It's understandable. But when the sister did not ask, when the brother came to her and said, we will provide this, she did not ask. He took it upon himself to make that. And he probably had all the good intentions in the world, but because of protocol, because of the protocols that are in place, she has yet to receive such services. That's probably beyond his control. That's probably beyond your control. So what the brother Maurice is saying, well, if this brother can't do things because of certain protocols and politics enable, how do you make an organization that offered something do something without being able to put pressure internally? You have to put external pressure on something to make it do what you want it to do. These are the basic laws of the universe. So what he is doing is reaching out to people that are outside of the nation and saying, we are having a problem. This is what was said and what was promised. The nation, as far as I have known since I've been walking this earth, if any organization in the black community has the utmost respect, and when they show up, they get that respect. I done seen brothers walk around from the nation in the middle of gunfights, and brothers have stopped shooting. That's the respect that the Nation of Islam gets. Straight off, no bones about it. You say the Nation of Islam, no black person says anything malintent about them at all, because one thing that you can say, if a brother comes out from anywhere and he goes into the nation, he will come out 20 times better than when he went into it. So we already got that. Let's just put that to the side. The organization of the nation is far none. It is a military organization to the highest form. They follow protocol. You are a living example of it. But I'm going to tell you something, brother. There are times when you are at war in the field of battle where protocol need to be thrown out the window because things need to get done. So right now, while we're waiting for the nation and the protocol, we need some mercenaries. We need some head busters. We need some guerrillas. We need some people that's going to get things done right now. What the brother is doing is calling on those people to do it. Now, I understand your protocols. I understand what you're saying, and I understand you were talking directly to this brother, and this conversation has nothing to do with us that's outside of the nation. So for all of us that are outside of the nation, let's listen to what the master teacher BGS said, and let's get on Twitter and social media, and let's go putting the screws to these congressmen and to these other people while the brothers here figure out the internal workings of the protocols and the code that's been set forth. Because we ain't going to change anything that's been going down for how long the nation has been in existence. It has worked. They're not going to change it. This is called tradition. Now, we don't have to operate within that tradition. We can go and do whatever we need by any means necessary we need to do to get the job done.
Now can I go? May I go?
Yeah, go right ahead, brother. Go right ahead, brother. Go right ahead, brother.
Now I will say it again for a third time, just so we can be clear. I said it twice already. I'm gonna say it again for a third time, and especially that we are highlighting that brothers and sisters offer to help. Again, I would say that we should have followed through with that. Just so there don't be no more misunderstandings as far as that. We should always keep our word bond. That's what we teach, regardless. There's no going back on that. But what I'm saying is, I'm going to ask a rhetorical question. If you have an issue, beloveds, if you have a family at your house, you know what I'm saying? In your household, you got your wife, you got your children. If your children has a grievance in the household, they don't take their grievance outside the household. If black people have a grievance in the black community, we shouldn't take our grievance outside the black community. Same thing with the Nation of Islam. I totally understand what brother is doing. I get what he's doing, and I respect what he's doing. But how we are taught, we are not taught to do what is being done on this platform by an FOI. I mean, I love my brother, but I just got to keep it real. But like I said, and I do agree with you as well, beloved, that yes, our sister, we got to do what we got to do to make sure sister get her some security. As a FOI, I'm going to do what I can do to try to make something happen as well and see what's going on and make sure sister gets some security. Because that's the type of brother that I am. You know what I'm saying? I don't, you know, I walk it like I talk it. But it's not just, like I keep saying, it's not just on the FOI. It's on black men in general. It's a whole lot that's going on in our community among black women, like the sister that was attacked in McDonald's. Black men just stood by idly. You know, I know they're not waiting for the fruit of Islam to show up. You know, but if we give our word, we should be there, period. But we just got to be careful, family. I'm just saying, we definitely got to be careful on these platforms. That's all I'm saying. We got to be careful, family. That's all. I mean, you know, I just hope you all understand what I'm saying. Let's put a message out. But as far as, see, me personally, and this is just how I was trained. If we gonna do military maneuvers, we don't put it to where everybody can see what's going on. That's just how I was trained.
Why the hell not? They put everything they doing in front of us.
The general don't give his war strategies to the enemy.
But okay, you know, let me just say this real quick.
There's no war strategy to provide security. That is no strategy.
Okay. Let me just say this. Yeah, I want to go over to Brother Maurice.
We talking about security for her.
That's still war. This is, brother, that's how we operate. When we treat security and all that stuff, that's still military strategic maneuvers, beloved.
Okay. Brother, I think at the end of the day, brothers like myself, Maurice Muhammad, that's close to the situation. I think when you talk about we shouldn't be emotional, I think some of our emotions, brother, in all due respect to you, beloved, is that a lot of us had a chance to interview this sister, see her up close and personal, of course, by social media. This sister's crying. The sister is in deep, deep pain. This doesn't mean that you don't feel the pain. She's in deep pain. And because we're seeing this firsthand and we're hearing such terrible things, like it doesn't seem like she's getting support by folks in that community that she was an activist for, that she was fighting for. And so I think because we hear her emotions, it's causing us as brothers to want to do what? What do men want to do? What is our natural function? We want to protect. We want to react. We want to fix problems. Our job is to solve problems, to solve an issue, and we want to protect women and children. And I think the emotions that you're hearing tonight is not because brothers are just being emotional. I think the emotions come out of the fact that we see a sister that's in need. We have on these platforms, we have plenty of people on these damn platforms talking about how black men don't do this and black men ain't doing that. Right. And some of us on here tonight, I would have to say there's only a few of us that are really down for what is for our people, right? And so I think that's what you're hearing here. You're hearing brothers on here that are saying, we want to see something get done. We want to be involved. I don't want to point
with emotions as far as we acting feminine, beloved. It has nothing to do with that. This is the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, I want to say something real quick.
Real quick. What everybody has to say. This is the point I'm trying to make. We need to know, because I believe sister lives in St. Louis, if I'm correct.
Yes, sir.
We need to know if anybody on this panel who lives in St. Louis and is willing to go sleep outside the sister's car. Outside the sister's house. We need to know if we know anybody who lives in St. Louis that's willing to go do security and do
brother,
it.
Let me stop you right there. I'm gonna let Brother Maurice Muhammad speak to that, but I think both Maurice Muhammad and Prophet of Thought has talked about when we first had the sister come on my channel and we interviewed her. We've been putting that information out to people who live in the area, people who are willing to get involved physically. There's people that are willing to donate to her GoFundMe. There's people that are willing. There's a sister by the name of BB Silk Scratcher who came up with a petition, brother. So there's people that are doing what they can wherever they live. Okay. So Brother Prophet said, hey, he's at a point where he wants to call some of his folks and get some goons down there. Not that they're goons, but I'm saying, so there are people, brother, that are willing and possibly able to do that. But right now, we can't reflect from the fact of the matter that, as Brother Maurice Muhammad stated, the nation at some point in time gave their word that they were going to send people down to give her security. So along with other people getting involved in her security and what have you, we still want the nation to be involved. However, I'm not a member of the nation, so I can't be speaking upon things that I don't know, like protocol. I get it. But I think at the end of the day, we're just a little frustrating that the sister's been waiting. They told her that she was going to get the autopsy report, not to get emotional, 6 to 8 weeks. She waited 11 weeks for that, and we may possibly get that autopsy report, according to Maurice Muhammad, tomorrow, Tuesday. So what the sister keeps hearing, brother, is she keeps hearing people telling her what they're going to do for her and her family, and then she's waiting and waiting and waiting. And that's what's the frustration for many of us who have come into this situation either early on or late. That's where we are right now. We're just saying, as black men, it's time for us to just do whatever we can. On YouTube, we got a lot of people talking a bunch of nonsense about look, we got 94 people in here watching. That's generous for a Monday night, right? But you know what? We should have the whole damn YouTube community should be up in here tonight listening to this. Not talking about how you gonna bust a nut with women. Not talking about what's black men and black women got a problem. Not talking about beta males and who's an alpha male. No, the alpha males tonight are on this panel and YouTube. And I don't care who feels what I just said tonight. The real alpha men are on this channel tonight. And those that came by to participate and those that are watching and say they want to get involved. Those are who the alpha males are right now. But now, I'm sorry, I had to be emotional for that moment.
I say it again. I'll let the brothers go. It's not about alpha and beta males.
Exactly.
It's not about that. It's about finding a solution.
Exactly.
All I'm saying is if we just the way we going about it, if we're gonna talk about the nation, then it's not gonna happen any faster doing it over YouTube. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. But see, wait a minute now. That's why Brother Maurice Muhammad gave out the number, right? He gave out the number. He gave out the number 773-324-6000. Everybody. He's saying call and let them know your concerns. I think that's proper, wouldn't you say?
I mean, yeah, yes, sir. I mean, that's a good way, and I commend brother for that. I appreciate brother.
Okay, let me go ahead and let Brother Maurice Muhammad speak. I know Prophet of Thought wants to speak. I got to get to Aaron, Real Aaron Collins. Brother JT, Underrated Darkness, has been very patient. Brother Art has been very patient. COU has been very. So I want to make sure some of these brothers get in here. But Brother Maurice Muhammad, go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you, beloved. And, so I just want to address a few things that our brother has said. You're correct. Danye is not the first, but we would have liked for him to be the last. So just because he's not the first, we shouldn't be looking at it as though it's something light, because it really is not. And there is no grievance. This is not a personal grievance for me, okay? Our sister was made a promise on several occasions by the Nation of Islam, and it has not been fulfilled. So if you had watched her on the radical sister, you would have seen that she says that I'm not going to be quiet any longer. She said that we have done that road and it has gotten us nowhere. So from that, then it dropped down. Okay, look, we need y'all to call and we need y'all to tell them this, that they need to make their word bond. There's nothing wrong with that. That is the right thing to do. And when you talk about, well, it should be men in general, but you got to remember that men in general didn't come to her that night and make that promise and come back 3 or 4 different times and say the same thing over again. He did, representing the Nation of Islam. So it's incumbent upon him to make his word bond. We always have to make sure that truth is the authority. Truth is the authority. And the minister says that to us over and over and over and over again, that truth is the authority. And just as the minister takes out and he defends us, I am her defender and I am defending her.
That's my husband.
And it's unfortunate that it's the Nation of Islam that has not lived up to its word, to its duty, to its responsibility.
But you are,
it's unfortunate.
Islam, beloved.
But if we hold, when we first brought her on the Information Man channel, from the audience, from the work that he did, they raised up over $500 to add to the GoFundMe to help get some of these cameras that we just spoke about. So it's a good thing to be able to use YouTube to get the message out and get our people involved. When she spoke on the Radical Sisters program, and you feel the passion and you feel the pain, we can never apologize for being right, for doing what's right, because unfortunately it's her today, but tomorrow it may be you. Tomorrow it may be somebody else. And if tonight or tomorrow night she gets killed, they raid her home, they do something, and she's dead, or another one of her sons are dead, who's gonna get the blame? The enemy will get the blame, but the Nation of Islam will also get the blame. And there's no matter, you can look like you don't understand, but that's real, because they offered and they have said and they failed to deliver. So by me and us letting it out, saying what's right, as the minister says, as he corrects America, they says that he's more patriotic because he's calling out to America her wrong to make her go right. I'm calling out to the Nation of Islam. I'm pointing out you're wrong to make you go right. There's no escaping that. And if we love truth, if we love authority as we are taught, then we will line up right behind this sister and stop trying to give shade where there's no shade to be given. That's love. That's truth. And that is power. I thank you, beloved. I rest my mic.
Well,
brother,
I'm gonna say.
Go ahead, brother.
Go ahead, brother. Info. Go ahead.
No, I just want to say to brother Malcolm Flex TV, the brother, I have respect for him. I do understand his position as it relates to protocols, because I'm not in the Nation of Islam. I've been around several brothers that have over the years, but I do understand where you're going from with the protocol. This is not an indictment on you personally, brother. I just think, as we said, a lot of us are hurting by what we're seeing the sisters going through, and we just want the sister to get, to get some help. That's what it really boils down to. So it's not an indictment on the brother, and this doesn't change the way I look at the nation. I've always respected the nation. I have many brothers that I grew up with that became members, and I've always respected. And I don't think maybe you do realize, of course you realize, but you know, the nation, you brothers are well respected across this country, this world. When I've seen the FOI come in the communities that I was in, and you got the utmost respect by everybody. So I think that respect comes with a certain responsibility, and that responsibility is that when the word is put out there, we would hope that help would arrive possibly. But we know that nothing is 100% perfect in this world. There's things that happen, but we are in a situation where we don't have time to waste time, because our people are getting destroyed out here every day. And you know that, but I don't need to preach to the choir. You know that. Brother X, I'm going to let you go ahead and speak, and then I have to let 3 other brothers, Brother Art, Brother COU, and of course, Brother Real Aaron Collins, and Brother Underrated Darkness JT, and Black in Japan. I got to let these brothers have their words as well before we put a end to this situation tonight. Go right ahead, brother.
Well, and of course, I'm fully behind Brother Maurice Muhammad. I believe in his message, and I believe that all of us should be doing more, including the name. But I'm going to say this: strange, because talking about media, and there's a bunch of people up here who have channels with thousands of subscribers, and tonight, all the nights, because there's been plenty of nights that we have been on panels and we've talked about this brother info. I've talked about it on my stream. I've talked about it on your stream last week with Brother Maurice Muhammad. And tonight was the first damn night that I actually saw somebody, I believe their name is Collective Minds, where they actually said that they are in the St. Louis area. Now, isn't that something? We get on these damn streams and we have people all the way from UK, we have people all the way from South America, but since we've been doing these damn streams, no one, all of a sudden we don't have anybody from St. Louis. We have nobody from Missouri. We have nobody from goddamn Ferguson. How is that possible? How is that possible that we don't have anybody listening? It's 9-10 brothers up here, but none of us have any listeners or subscribers from the St. Louis area. I call bullshit on that. I call bullshit on the people who watch these streams. I call bullshit on the people who won't step up and say, hey, I'm in that area. What you need me, I'm from St. Louis. I can go over there and stand guard over the sister's house for an hour or two. Where is that? Because I tell you what, if some shit like that was going down in the Queen City, I'd be in my goddamn car and I'd be there. Just like when Jonathan Farrell got shot down here and talk about it and hide. I let people know that I was here. And you know what? I went to where it was happening at. I went to the rally that was in his name. The same thing that happened to Janisha Fonville, where it happened at. So I find it hard to believe with all of these people that we got listening to us. Every single one of us is a content creator, but we don't have anybody from the St. Louis area. So I'm calling the goddamn audiences and the listeners and the YouTubers to count right now, because guess what? We should have at least 5-10 people writing in that chat room saying, I'm from the St. Louis area, I'll go by there. I'm from the Missouri area, I'll go by there. That's what's disappointing, because see, the people who are in that area, they can do something. They can be there. They don't have to be there next week or next month. They can be there tonight. But see, they don't want to. That's why they're not making it known that they out there. They're hiding. They're hiding. And like Brother Muhammad said, it's damn fear. Fear that you'll actually be of use. Ain't that something? That's it.
Let me tell you something, Brother X. That's why I brought you on here, the brothers that I brought on here, because I knew that you could bring gravity and reality and truth to the issue. So I always appreciate your thoughts. And another thing, once again, this is a brother Prophet of Thought series who has experiences over and over again, firsthand experience with counseling and dealing with the mothers that have lost sons, lost children to this same type of nonsense. So this is a brother that speaks not just from out of hollow talk, but from experience. This is not, he has been dealing with this for some time. So that is one of the reasons why I felt that it was appropriate for you to be on this panel tonight, because you have been involved. You interviewed Brother Maurice Muhammad, and you are a champion for this sort of stuff, brother, and I respect you. Let me go over to Real Aaron Collins. Brother, you've been patient.
Well, let me say one more thing.
Okay, brother.
Let me say one more thing. You know that Brother Muhammad is handling Lady Melissa's media affairs, and y'all can look forward to her. Unfortunately, I'm going to have another mother on my show, and Lady Melissa will be on the show within the next, I guess, 2 to 3 weeks. I don't know whatever Brother Muhammad got slated for, but you will be seeing her on my show in the weeks to come. Just want to put that out there.
Well, we will be over there. I'll put the word out to everybody to get their black behinds over there to your program and support what is happening. Brother, before you leave though, do you have anything else that you want to say, brother? Because I'm going to go over to Real Aaron Collins and let him say a few words. And then I need to get over to Brother Art, who's been super patient, as well as Brother JT and CRU. They've been quiet the whole time and super patient. You have anything you want to add?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and jump off and let the other brothers speak. You know, thanks for having me, and peace to the panel. I mean, it's a lot of brothers up here that I'm with, these brothers up here. But I say again, man, we got to stop being afraid, man, to be useful. I think being useful at times, and we have to stop doing that, man. If we ain't gonna stand for nothing, man, we need to stand something like this at least once. I want to be proud of us at least once. Can I be proud of us at least one time? Once. And with that, I'm gonna say peace. I'm gonna jump off, man. Peace everybody on the panel. Peace everybody out there in the chat.
Peace.
X is out. Peace,
brother X. Take care, brother.
Brother X. Peace, brother.
Real Aaron Collins, you've been patient, brother. I know you're out and about, so go ahead and render some thoughts, brother.
Salute to the brothers on the panel. Salute to the chat. I just wanted to mention. I heard Brother Maurice Muhammad mention earlier about having body cameras. There is this company you should take a look at. It's called TACCAM. A company called Bell and Howell makes them. Google it, see what they're talking about with them. I saw a commercial about them. And secondly, I wanted to mention, I addressed what Brother Flex said earlier about being emotional. You know, in situations like this, you're going to get emotional. Emotions are going to be in the mix. The key is keeping them in check, because we got to realize that Sister Melissa did get rightfully so emotional, and because she's a sister who's now childless, and you also have to mention that there's a sonless father in the mix, as well as an uncle who no longer has his nephew around. So emotions are going to be there. Just keeping these emotions in check, that is key. But the fact that when we go out there and do these things, emotions are in check. There's something called righteous indignation, and it's an emotion. It's a type of it's a righteous kind of anger, but it's still an emotion. So emotions are going to be in the mix. Brother Maurice Muhammad and I think Brother X just made a very good point too about where are these cats, because I've stated this before myself. So many of these our black people are afraid and fearful of the enemy when it comes to challenging them, but we real quick to get up in each other's faces. We're real quick to plot against each other. That shouldn't be. It's part of this indoctrination. It's learned behavior. We have to unlearn it We have to teach them how to turn this anger right back on the source to which it came from, and that's these colonizers who create these systems that they benefit from and at our detriment. So if we're going to have some vitriol and emotion, let it be in check, but let it be directed at where it needs to be.
Right.
That's pretty much all I wanted to say.
Okay, brother. Brother, let me go over to brother JT again. Underrated Darkness. Are you still with us, brother?
Yeah, I'm
still with us. Man, I want to thank you for being super patient. This is the last time you talk. I know it's been a minute. You've sat back. You've assessed everything that you've heard brothers say. It's your time to give your assessment as to where you think we need to go. What is your thoughts?
I think that we got to salute Brother Maurice Muhammad. Sometimes in life, as me being a black man in my 50s right now, sometimes there's certain protocols got to be overruled by people, and we have to take on to protect our family. And I want the brothers to hear this, that gotta be team players, y'all. We gotta be team players, you know. And sometimes we follow certain protocols at times and we get killed. And this is the time, morally, the question is that I get from you, I get from Maurice, Brother Muhammad, and I get from other brothers to say this. It's the question: when are we going to protect our family, especially the black woman and the child, and even the brothers that's in the family? When are we going to say, damn it, it's enough? I'm a godfather, and I protect mines like it's I protect like it's mine. And we have to get on this reassurance that we support what Brother Maurice Muhammad is doing, and others. And I have passed the word out, and I have talked. What I'm saying is though that there's brothers out here is doing the work. So come on, but I'm saying this protocol, that word, I never really care for that word, because sometimes that word doesn't mean nothing for our people. Our people is dying. I was watching YouTube today. I have a friend that I grew up in New York. He said his brother got shot 5 o'clock today for nothing. And you know what people said, Brother Maurice, I want you to hear this. Oh, what about the protocol? Damn, the protocol? Are you gonna find this motherfucker? Or I have to come, or I'm gonna come up in New York. This protocol, we got to stop because it's hurting our people.
That's right.
It's hurting our people. It's done, you know, and the sad thing about it, that's one of my godsons. Please don't do. I'm on the phone. Please don't. Nah. The sister got promised something. Deliver. Stop pointing the blame on somebody else. The rest of us as brothers, we gonna do our thing. And you wonder why some brothers and sisters, why they don't like to join organization, because of stuff like this. And I'm being honest. And I respect the Nation of Islam. There's no doubt about it. They have, you know, Nation of Islam has saved many brothers and sisters from the illness, and I respect them. I salute them. They are a part of our community forever. There's no doubt about that. But what was right is right, is wrong is wrong. We got to stop throwing our brothers and sisters that actually stand up for what's right. We got to stop it. Damn it, I'm tired of protocol. And I'm just going to mute my mic. And I just want to let you know, Maurice, I salute you, brother. And I thank you for hearing me. And I'm just going to do the best I can.
Yes, sir.
And there's a war out there. And we lose it because of certain levels of protocol.
Yes, sir.
And it's sad. And I mean it's like sad with you. I want to tell you this the last time, but I salute you. And trust me, there are brothers out here are doing the work. And I understand. And they are. We are out here. And we salute you. And I'm just saying, talk to the father, talk to the uncle, because they hurting too. And thanks for everybody. And keep up the good work, brother. We with you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother.
Okay. JT, I want to thank you for your words, brother, and your patience tonight with everything that was said. And I'm with you on what you said. I think at some point in time, it's about action and less talk. So, brother, thank you for those words. What I want to do right now is I want to go over to, thank you again, JT. Make sure you all support that brother, Underrated Darkness. He has a great channel. The brother is doing great things over there with black men, sisters, brothers. He is for his people. Let me go over to brother. Let me go over to brother Art. He hasn't said one iota tonight. This is a brother that's a teacher. He's a professor. Has a lot of experience working with youth. Just this brother has a lot of experience. Period. He's an artist. Brother's incredible. Very intelligent, very gifted brother. Brother Art, how you doing, brother? I know you've been super patient tonight.
Well, I'm doing fine. I'm just taking it all in. And, first I want to give greetings of peace. Assalamu alaikum to the believers on the panel.
Walaikum salam, family.
Plus I got my ex in 91. I never had a position, but I do know the chain of commands and general orders and all those kind of things. They're in place for a reason. Okay. When you start going out of that, then things start going disarray. History have shown that. So I don't know what the outcome is going to be after all this has been done. But at the end of the day, we have to understand that this is not the Marines, not the Army, it's not the Navy. They don't have all these resources. These are the soldiers of Muhammad. These are soldiers that's been very sincere about why they wanted to serve in the first place. So I don't, what I'm hearing is that it is a regional issue more than the Nation of Islam. It is an area. And I think that needs to be definitive, because when people hear these messages, they paint it with a broad stroke. And then later on, you're really not going to get anything done, because you got people with all these different agendas having on one end, let's save the sister. On the other hand, let's ruin the nation. But how are we going to know this stuff? Because basically we're welcoming in all kinds of different energies that probably won't even help the sister. This is out of sincerity here. I'm not a good poster child of FOI or anything, but I do remember my roots. And basically, I'm going to support however, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, what the young lion is talking about, from what I'm hearing, is that the protocol is mainly on between the soldiers, the FOI, the fruit. I mean, I don't think the protocol that he's talking about is like filling out paperwork so you can protect the sister, because there's certain things that happen out here. I'm out here in the same area as brother Flex, and I don't, when there's certain things that happen like immediately, I don't think you have to fill out paperwork. The brothers get the call and take care of business. I just don't know what's going on over there in St. Louis.
That's right.
So I think for sure that, instead of blowing a bullhorn about the Nation of Islam, I think you got to take care of the captain there at that mosque, the minister at that mosque,
the squad, or whoever it is, because who knows if whatever's going on at that mosque, if they have direct contact with the headquarters in Chicago. Who knows? You know what I mean? So, and then at the same time, we got so many people with different agendas that are against organizations are willing to take it to the organization, and they find an opportunity to do that. I see it sometimes in the chat a little bit, but I mean, again, I mean, I don't know about the whole the emotion thing or whatever that struck a nerve, but the translation that I got from it is that approach things with a cooler head so everybody can be safe. Everybody can be, well thought of and well protected, because this is a big issue here, and he said it is not the only one, but this is the recent one. This is the one that we all have an attention to. I mean, let's not forget about that sister that got killed. I believe it was in Houston or Texas or whatever, that 7-year-old girl. I mean, these things are happening over and over again to our youth. So at the end of the day, I think for sure, see, everybody's right. You know what I'm saying? There's no right or wrong in this whole panel discussion. You just got to make sure that you make sure all these pieces fit, because you got a young soldier right here really sticking to the general orders. Everything he said was, I'm not going to even just spill out general orders, but everything he is saying is the general orders. Okay. And he should not be discouraged to do that because he's standing on his post. Okay. So therefore, whatever is being told to him, I'm quite sure he's going to be a help instead of a hindrance after this whole discussion is over. But these my only little 2 cents that, from an outsider looking in, there's some people that could probably make some phone calls and make this go away right away. But it's very unfortunate that Sister Ava said what she said and things like that. But I just think that once you get your communication and everything right. But man, I mean, somebody said 11 weeks. These things have to be really really investigated and definitive, because sometimes one more thing is that, again, when we start doing it like we're doing it now, it invites the wrong element in to make things worse. It probably would have been good to have this panel discussion privately and then come out live with some of our solutions, because some people just don't want us to succeed in protecting our family. I mean, that's just real. And I will sit back.
Let me just say this, Brother Art. I think that I hear where you're coming from about some things do need to be said behind the scenes. But there are some things that have been working behind the scenes. And I think some of what we've come out has led to some solutions in terms of rallying people around the issue now. I think more people, particularly in this medium that we're on, are becoming more and more aware of what's going on. People are doing what they can behind the scenes. So I think in some ways we are having some effect. It's just that at this particular time, we need to make sure that the sister has some physical safety. And but I hear where you're coming from. You're making excellent points. Let me, with the sake of the time that we have left, let me go over to Brother CRU. CRU, are you still with us, brother? CRU.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Okay, you've been super patient as well. You've had a chance to digest, hear everything that everyone has said. As we get ready to put a crescendo on tonight's presentation situation to call to arms to support the sister, what are your thoughts?
Can I get like 2? I hear an echo.
Okay, let me turn down some of my stuff. Go right ahead.
My bad. I'm gonna need like 2 minutes for this, 2 or 3 minutes.
All right, brother, but
notes,
make it count. Make it count.
I got you.
I still got to get back to Brother Black in Japan. I've still got to get back to Brother Fletch. And then after Fletch makes his last statements for the night, I gotta get it right back to the source, and that's Brother Muhammad to take us home. So go right ahead. You've been very patient, though. I respect that.
So like I love and respect Brother Maurice Muhammad's view, because he's trying to do and not trying, he's doing it. He's bringing attention to the situation. So I don't know all the steps that Brother Maurice has taken. I'm not Muslim. I'm not Nation of Islam or nothing. I don't know any of their protocol or anything. So, you know, so I'll leave that to that. But also, I do like what my brother Black in Japan was saying, is do not depend on anybody like that. You feel me? Like not the church, not the Black Panthers, not the Nation of Islam. Those institutions, they all do their good, but they're also limited. You know, so you have to, basically the institutions are supplements to what we all do in real life. You know, but to like what Black in Japan was saying, and this is me, if you're really, really passionate about it, you've got to do it yourself. So just getting to the point, like Gav's panel yesterday, right? It was about like not destroying ourselves. You know, the evil on Black YouTube and this, that. I'm not saying what Brother Maurice is. Salute to Brother Maurice. You know, I deal with you. You know what I mean? But it's like we shouldn't be airing our laundry out in the public. You know, it goes back to the point of, if you're in the house and you promise to help out a neighbor, right? The neighborhood's bad or whatever. You promise to help out a neighbor, but within the household, you didn't actually go do it. So I would say, as somebody in that household, I wouldn't go rally the neighbors to point back at your household, say you didn't do what you said you were going to do, because there might be different things going on that prevented you from doing it at that time. You know, but the way everybody else is going to look at it, like you gave your word and you didn't do it. But other than going and pointing the finger back at the household, which is like airing out the laundry, I would say just go out there and go rally everybody else up. Hey, we need some help. We need some help. We need some help. You know, BGS said, spam the social media. You know what I mean? You spam the social media, you make the politicians accountable. Like Black in Japan said, we got to do it regardless. We have to sacrifice the money, the PTO, the hours at work. If we're going to lose our job, we lose our job, right? Because if we're going to do that, you might lose your life anyway. So what the hell is your job? You know what I mean? Also, donate. Shit, they might need to get a private autopsy. You know, they might need some attorney funds. They might need this and that, this and that. They might need some people just to go spoil the courthouse. You know what I mean? When you know what I mean, spoil the news, go interview everything on the news or whatever. And also us as YouTubers, you know what I mean, without pointing fingers at anybody, just go rally everybody, say we need some more support. Whoever's in that St. Louis area, let's do it. Let's, you know what I mean? Let's get it. We need more support. Whoever's down there, let's get it. You know, it's not like I'm saying, oh, everybody go grab rifles and do this and that, but we can donate money to, like you said, get more cameras, send hard drives, pay for the internet so they got high-speed uploads so the cameras all work at all times. Everybody got live feeds and stuff. It's a plethora of things that we can do to solve this problem. It's not just one way. None of this is just doing it one way. Like it's multifaceted. So and in conclusion, yeah, I wrote it like a 5-paragraph thing, just taking my notes. But in conclusion, right? To me, people are in fear. You know what I mean? And I forgot who just on the panel said that. I think it was a prophet of thought, even Black in Japan too. Maurice, you said it too. But people are in fear. You know what I mean? They don't want to sacrifice and they want to go oh, I'm gonna just call the police. I'm gonna just no, put your shit out there and go do it. You know what I mean? I know it's a big thing you're doing, brother Maurice. You know what I mean? Calling out like this. Me myself, I wouldn't have. But I don't. But also, I don't know what you have tried already. So I might have too, depending on, you know what I mean? What you have tried or whatever. So I don't know what you have tried or whatever. Like you said, it's been 11 weeks. So I'm not going to condemn you. You know what I mean? I'm not going to condemn anybody. You know what I mean? I know there's protocol for a reason. Half the time the general has the plans, the president has the plans, and doesn't even let the general know. He just said go attack there. The lieutenant and the colonel don't even know. The private definitely don't know the damn war strategy, but he's still going to follow orders and be in the war. So now that goes to my point of the protocol. If you see some things that you don't think are right, you still have that protocol because the general has his plans. You feel me? But if you see something wrong, then you got to go through that protocol. But it's like a mixed bag. You know what I mean? You never know what's up. It's like being a whistleblower. Oh, are you a whistleblower or are you a traitor?
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what it is. Are you a terrorist or are you a liberator?
Mm-hmm.
A revolutionary? It depends on who wins. That's who tells that story. But you know what I mean? That's all I had to say. So I hope, you know what I mean? I was kind of insightful to y'all or whatever. And
you were very insightful, brother. Let me just say this. When you said out there, what can people do? Well, already a week ago, I put in the chat room just a few minutes ago, Melissa and the family, they have a GoFundMe. Everybody that's in the chat room right now, go to that GoFundMe, put some money in, whatever it is, $5, 20, whatever you can afford. Put in. Every bit counts because the goal was to hire a private examiner. The goal is to hire private investigators because we can't believe what this ratchet county of St. Louis is putting down the pipeline. We cannot believe that. And so just a week ago, I put out a number. Many brothers put out numbers, and Brother Maurice Muhammad was the main one that put out the number to call the coroner's office, to call the medical examiners in the county in this county of St. Louis. And come to find out that people that I have talked to behind the scenes told me that they could tell that these people were feeling the pressure. They were also very rude to people. So I think on a lot of levels, what we did using YouTube has been effective for what we were able to do at this level. Okay, at this kind of level. All right. Now, I heard you say that we shouldn't air our dirty laundry. Okay, that's very true. We shouldn't put out our dirty laundry. But you know what? Every single day, 365 days a year, 7 days a week, I can get on YouTube and you hear black people every single day. I've been involved in these streams as well. Okay, we are always on here airing out our dirty laundry when we're talking about black men and black women. When we're talking about
Dusty Beta Male Coon.
Let me start. No. This is no time for jokes right now. CRU. I'm talking something serious right now. I don't want to hear that. We get on these panels. We joke around. We get into our little groups. We talk shit about this, that. We're always putting out our dirty laundry all the time. But yet, when we're talking about something that's happening to a sister and a family, something that counts in the real world, not in the cyberspace of YouTube, now everybody wants to tell us. This is no disrespect to protocol, again, of the nation, but everybody wants to tell us now, oh, y'all need to be quiet. Y'all need to not air this out when we're talking about real world stuff. But when we're on here screaming and yelling and talking about all this old social media and all this reality show crap that goes on these platforms sometimes, I don't hear anybody saying, you know, we really shouldn't act like this. We really shouldn't put out the dirty laundry. I never hear that. I just hear the talk and the visceral that goes on. Okay? That's how I feel about it. I don't care who feels any kind of way about what I'm saying because I know I'm standing on truth right now. Let me go over to, and I love you, CRU, but I didn't really want to hear that, what you were saying, because right now I'm not in a joking mood, brother, at all.
I feel you. I feel you, info man.
Let me go over to. Let me go.
Same way.
I just not. We can joke another time, but this particular stream we having is no time for jokes. And I respect you still, CRU. I love you, by the way. Black in Japan, make your last statements, and then I gotta let brother Malcolm Fletch TV make his last statements, and then I need to have brother Maurice Muhammad take us home because we're all tired. We all need rest. Go right ahead, Black in Japan.
I like the I appreciate you letting me on the panel again. Salute to the brother Art and CRU, to the brother Malcolm, and to the brother Maurice. It's been a pleasure to meet both of you for the first time, to actually sit up here and have a conversation with both of you brothers. Real Aaron Collins, to the brother Underrated Darkness. Once again, good to see y'all. I'm gonna just finish my statements up with this. I understand military strategy. I was in the military. But the greatest military strategy is a deterrent. You will not walk onto a military base because you see security. You see armed guards walking. You see barbed wire fences. You know not to go into that area. It is a restricted area. This sister has been without security for going on 3 months. If there's a protocol that exists that keeps this woman that has already lost a child without security, and we have to keep our mouths closed, and we have to put these grievances, then the very same protocols that kept her without security for 3 months will continue to keep her without security until someone else loses their life. So maybe those protocols need to be thrown the fuck out the window. See, there are different types of protocols, right? Right now, there is immediate threat protocol, right? There's such a thing as action has to be taken. Now, in the military, there is called the Articles of Engagement, the Geneva Convention, right? But do you know what the federal government does? When they can't assess a threat because they have to be fired upon before you can fire upon anyone. You can't fire upon an opposing army unless you're fired upon first, unless the articles of warfare that you state that you go to war, right? So this is a military strategy, right? This is what happens. Civilians can fire upon the military. The military can't fire upon civilians unless they're given the order from a higher authority to say that they can fire upon them. They would have to use non-lethal force even though the civilians are using lethal force against them, i.e. when you see a riot break out and the riot police come out with tear gas and mace, right? But guess what? When you hire mercenaries, they don't have to go against those articles. They don't need to adhere to that. They can use any means necessary to get the job done. See, now, if there are protocols in the nation, and I respect those protocols, like Brother Art said, because there's order. You can't roll outside of that order because chaos will ensue. Because once you become an organization, you have to follow these protocols. But there are a whole lot of other people that don't have to follow these protocols. So if they are organized and they have given a way of done something, you can get a homeless dude down the street to be a deterrent. Hey, man, sit right here in front of this house. I'm going to give you $20 a day to sit right here in front of this house. And if anything happens, you let me know, call this cell phone, and we will be here in a jiffy. If I can't act directly, then I can act indirectly. There are so many ways to get things done around so-called protocols. Now, I'm not putting the blame on the brother of the mosque. Maybe he acted out of what he thought was right, and because of the protocols and the things in place, he has to fight through a whole lot of politics. And maybe he doesn't have the resources because, like the brother Art said, it may not be the whole nation. It's just that region. Well, maybe by Brother Maurice calling this out, maybe that region can get the funding it needs because the enemy is now attacking the weak point. if we're talking about strategy. We're not going to attack you in Chicago because you're strong there. We're not going to come hard at you in LA because you're strong there. We're not going to, but we're going to come at you in Missouri, in Wisconsin, where you're a satellite unto yourself, where you're cut off, where you are a satellite force. These are the basic strategies of warfare. Sun Tzu's Art of War, the 48 Laws of Power, 33 Strategies. I think every black person should read those books. And understand that you don't need an organization to operate in a fashion for protection of self. Because guess what? There's certain places in the South that you just can't go and do this stuff. And there are black folks that run those towns, and you won't have it because they know everybody is entering and coming out the town. The problem is we aren't each other's neighbor's keeper. That's our main problem. We're waiting on an outside entity. So how did this system survive for the last 3 months without security? That's the number one question. Let's just get off of that for a second. What are we going to do for this sister right now? Who's in that area, like the brother said, the brother, and let's reach out to these brothers that's not a part of the nation that don't have to deal with this protocol. Let's go out and touch them brothers and say, brother, are you willing to help this sister with this plight? Well, man, I got to go to work. All right, brother, you know what? Let's put a fund together and let's get some armed security. Let's get some Hell's Angels down there if we got to. Do whatever we got to. An hour. One person take an hour. Two people take an hour. We got brothers working security for rap concerts, but we can't protect the activists that's trying to get us rights for our own community. We got promoters running around and doing all this extra stuff. But you know what it costs? It's the one thing black people don't like to do. Money. They don't like to give money. You can't walk in the Jewish neighborhood and do that. They blue. You can't do that because they got money.
Okay.
They got money.
Okay.
So let's put money where
Brother
our
Black
mouth
and
is.
Brother Black.
That's it.
Brother Black in Japan. I think I can hear what you were saying. You cut out a few times, you know, that little morphing sound, but let me thank you for your words tonight. I appreciate what you just said and the way you said it. You're definitely my brother. I'm glad that you're back on the scene again. I know you took a little time away with family, and I'm just glad to have one of the persons that I thought of when this all was happening. I really wanted to get you on board a lot earlier, but you know what? You're back, brother. So I appreciate that. I need to let Brother Malcolm Fletch say his last words for the night. I know, Aaron, you have something that you want to say too, brother. But Brother Malcolm Fletch, go right ahead. Malcolm Fletch TV, folks. Make sure you all check out the brother's channel and support him. Give him love. Get over there and support that brother's channel. He's doing some great things over there. I'm a big fan of the brother already. And tomorrow night, about 7:30 Western time, which will be 9 o'clock Central time and 10 o'clock Eastern time, I'm going to have this brother on my channel, interviewing him, digging deep into what makes this brother who he is. How did he join the nation? What are the things he's gone through in his life, where he is today? And the brother has a fantastic channel once again. I like the things that he's doing and brothers like Ben X are doing over there. So brother Malcolm Fletch TV, brother, I want to give you your last words for the night. And I hope it not to be the last words that we hear from you in life, but your last words for the night. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. All praises due to Allah, man. And I would like to thank each and every member on this panel, man. Very civilized and dignified discussion. And I just, appreciate the spirit of each and every one of our dear beloved brothers who are on tonight's panel. And I think many of the brothers made a lot of good points. And one thing that has made the Nation of Islam so successful is our discipline. When we talk about military strategies, what makes a military win a war is their discipline. Above everything else, as a soldier, you have to have discipline. And we have to think more military minded, because just as our brother Maurice said, we are at war. So if we want to win the war, we will have to abide by certain protocols if we want to be successful and win the war. But now, beloved, you know, we do have our shows, you know what I'm saying? We do have our shows on YouTube, but at some point we have to change the hats that we wear. Not where right now we're YouTube content, black YouTube content makers. Okay, but at some point we have to take that hat off and put on our military hat. And the military conversation can't necessarily be had over a YouTube discussion. I'm sorry. That's military training. We gotta be disciplined. But now I just, what I'm going to personally do, and what I suggest others to do outside of this this discussion, is time to act, and those who can help, sisters, GoFundMe, okay? And if you got to call headquarters to, you know what I'm saying, do what you got to do, then do that. But let's contribute to the solution. You know what I'm saying? Let's get military minded. Let's be disciplined in how we maneuver, okay? And let's make it happen. And that's what I'm gonna dedicate my next week or two to, in trying to get sisters some help. And I'm gonna try to make my word bond as well. Other than that, if it's not helping Sister Melissa, I mean, it really don't need to be discussed. You know what I'm saying? Because she's the person that we are all here to protect, and we want to see her, because she is grieving. She lost a son. You know what I mean? And I know what it's like to lose a loved one. I understand. Well, I lost my mother. I was 4 years old when I lost my mother. So I can only imagine what sister is feeling. You know, and I feel her pain. And we all should. And based on that feeling, that should give us the motivation. That should give us the inspiration to get up and do something, and not saying that this panel is doing this, but let's not give lip service, and let's just make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Let's be the men, you know, who our women desire us to be. And that's all I have to say. And I just, like I said again, I would like to thank you all. I appreciate you all for your thoughts and your comments, you know, and it gave me life, brother. Information, man. Dear brother, I appreciate you as well for allowing me on your show. And inshallah, you know, I will be ready tomorrow for our interview. Thank you.
All right, brother. I look forward to that. That is Brother Malcolm Flex TV. Go check out his channel. Come over here tomorrow evening, and me and that brother are going to get into it on a variety of issues. We may touch on this issue tomorrow as well. Again, before I go over to the great and most honorable Maurice Muhammad, let me go over to Real Aaron Collins, because I think he had something that he wanted to say. Brother, what was that?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that I was addressing BIJ's Black in Japan's a comment. What was the sister? How was she being protected for the last 3 months? If I'm not mistaken, I believe Sister Melissa mentioned when she was on Infoman, being interviewed by Infoman, that she had other sisters that were in the community that they strapped up and they posted up. And when she said that made me feel a certain way as a man, because I'm like, there's no way in the world we should be letting our sisters do that. The sisters have always held it down for black men. I'm just going to call it what it is. Black women have always been on the front lines for black men and with black men. And I do appreciate what these sisters did, but they shouldn't have even had to do that. And that's where we have to step it up as black men and do what we need to do. And I also wanted to mention that I agree with what Brother Malcolm Flex was saying, that maybe we shouldn't do this on YouTube, but there are ways that we could electronically communicate with each other. There's like back chats and discords that we could do that on too, where it doesn't necessarily go out over a major platform and all that. So Just think about that and take that in consideration, because
okay,
yeah, everyone doesn't necessarily. That's how some people only know how to communicate with each other. So gotta look at that too.
Okay, you make good points, Aaron. I appreciate you being here, Brother Collins. It's late. We've said our piece tonight. A lot has been said, folks. Let me just disengage my avatar. A lot has been said tonight, and I want to go over to Brother Maurice Muhammad right now. Let him bring us home with his last words, and I hope everybody out there that's been listening is going to go to the GoFundMe. I have put it in the chat room several times. Those that are listening out there and support the family, call the number. I put the number in there several times. Call Chicago, call the nation, and let them just know respectfully that you really would like to see the family get some assistance. Be respectful about it. And I appreciate you all for being here tonight. But I see everyone writing thoughts in the chat room. Please support the situation. I cannot ask you anymore. Please do so. With that said, I'm going to go over to Brother Maurice Muhammad and let him send us away with the last words for tonight. Go right ahead, brother.
Thank you, Brother Information Man. And I thank the brothers on the panel and the watchers who are watching live and who are watching that will watch it on replay. You know, a lot of talk was talked about military and rules and a general versus a private. And in truth, I am a general. And in truth, this is a war. And this is not a Cold War where nothing is going on so that you have the time to do a lot of back channel this and wait for this and wait for that. That's not the way the fight is here. This is a hot war, okay? They have already started messing with her power again. They have already having people waiting outside their houses again. They already have people coming after. The police came after her sons and mocked him 3 times again. This is the other son. So while people are talking this back channel, this, while the real hot stuff is actually going on the ground. So time is a factor here because it wasn't so much time from them playing with the lights and getting this and getting that to the next thing you know, her son is dead. And now they're targeting another son. So time here is an essence. We talked about that it started out not by her going to them. The local minister, the man in charge, came to her. Then the national representative of the minister came to her. So here we have the nation on the low level and the nation on the national level, giving words that a service will be provided. Now, if it's Beyonce or if it's some other Jay-Z or this entertainer or that entertainer, it's done and it seemed to be done with quickness. Now, here we have a sister that's one of us, and it ain't done with that same quickness. And we have to get that changed. And in order to get that changed, I need your assistance. That's why I need you to make those phone calls. And when I spoke to my wife about it and I was telling her, one thing that I'm worried about is that I don't want the real enemies of the Nation of Islam to be able to use this to attack Minister Farrakhan. Because in essence, we're not attacking Minister Farrakhan, but we are reporting that people have made promises and it has not been carried out. And we're calling to tell it and for you to enforce the promises that were made. That's not anything negative. That's a good thing. We talk about general orders. Well, let's go over a few very quickly of the general orders of the Nation of Islam. General order number 3 is to report all violations of orders I'm instructed to enforce. So if you're taught truth, and then you're taught as an FOI to be obedient to the truth, and you report all slackness and wrongdoing. When you pick up that phone and make that call, you're reporting slackness, weakness, and wrongdoings. You're reporting things that were not done that should have been done properly. You're also in General Order number 8. It says, in case of disorder, give the alarm. Well, this is a disorder. Promises was made. She's supposed to be secured. She's unsecured. That's disorder. They're setting up death. That's disorder. So we got to report. Don't come with general orders if we don't know the general orders. I know what the general orders is. To allow no one to commit a nuisance on or near my post. By them not keeping their word, that's creating a nuisance. And we're to report those nuisances. So that's what you're doing. You are a soldier. And you're going by the general orders that the Nation of Islam puts out that we have to respect and follow. So by you picking up that phone and you making that call, you're fulfilling general orders. I'm not a dumb man. I'm not a brother that don't understand orders or don't understand strategy and don't understand conduct. I understand all of that. And I understand that if this sister or her son or anyone in that family dies and the word of the Nation of Islam went out that they were going to do something and they didn't do it, then the credibility and the love for the Nation of Islam will begin to evaporate because they did not show love, truthfulness, or honor that day to her and her family. The minister taught us a lecture called Show Us Our Way of Devotion. The minister also did a lecture called Who Are You Good For? And that's a question that we got to ask. Who are we good for? When you look at the work that you have done, Information Man, when you had her here on your platform, the money that was raised, we even took people who wanted to join on to our organization based off the program that you have done. And for those who watched it, came back and watched it on demand. So it shows that this is a good work. This is a fight that we are in, and this is a fight that we cannot afford to lose. Because we know Minister Farrakhan, unfortunately, has less days in front of him than we do. So we should not sit down and cow down. We have to do what he has taught and use that example. And it's just unfortunate that this time, that example, we have to report the violations of the Nation of Islam to give him the understanding that so he can say, fix it. Because I know if he knew what was going on, he would say, fix it. So I thank everybody for doing and helping making those phone calls because it matters. And it's about life or death. And believe you me, if you were in this situation that she is in, I would be fighting just as hard for you as I am for her, regardless to whom or what, because we are each other. Thank you, beloved, and I love you all. Peace and blessings.
Thank you. I want to thank you for those words, brother. And I felt like what we did a week ago with Gav, yourself, we had Brother Urema on here, Brother Underrated Darkness came on as well. I thought that we did make some headways. A lot of people were talking about it, and the fact that I got emails and people that told me behind the scenes what they were doing, that told me that we did make an impact. We got people in the chat room tonight. The chat room was jumping. People are talking. People are also shocked by the lack of urgency to Sister Melissa and her family And so I think we are doing good works because, like I said, we spend a lot of time on these platforms putting out public laundry all the time about things that do not really matter in the bigger picture because there's no action behind it. And what we're doing is trying to put actions behind our words. And I want to say again to everybody listening, go to her GoFundMe, go to the family's GoFundMe. I put it in the chat room several times, and support. Call the phone number, be respectful, and just say respectfully that we want the sister to get some support. Just do that. It's either we do something or we don't. What BGS said tonight about the political realm, yes, we can do that, right? But at the end of the day, we do spend time on these streams sometimes talking about what Black people need to do, how we need to support each other, support Black businesses, do for ourselves, not depend on others. Don't depend on the mayonnaise man to take care of you. Well, this is an opportunity for us to do this for ourselves without depending on the mayonnaise man all the damn time. So here we are as Black men saying, get involved. It doesn't, if you can't get involved physically by going down there and giving security, get involved by making your money count. Get involved by sharing this video, spreading the information to other people, making people aware, inviting Sister Melissa to your platform to interview her. Okay, it's all sorts of things that you can do to contribute to what's going on, because this is a catalyst for what we should be doing for all other individuals who become a victim of this system. And like Brother Maurice Muhammad said tonight, the goal is to make, we shouldn't have to have many more Johnny Jones. We shouldn't have many more Melissas. We shouldn't have many more people, Trayvon Martins, okay? Mike Browns. We should not have this continuing. We should be ending this by showing that we are active as a people and we're not going to take things laying down. So I want to thank everybody who's been with us tonight. It's late. We're tired. All of us are tired, but hey, we're here. Brother Real Aaron Collins, thank you for being here. Thank you, CRU, for being here. Thank you, Black in Japan, for being here. Brother Art, thank you, Brother Gab Talk Media, for being here for the short moment that you were here. Thank you, Underrated Darkness, JT, for being here tonight. Thank you, Bitter Truth, for coming in when you were sleeping in the bed, speaking your truth and how you felt. And you kind of were the catalyst that took us in this area. I want to thank Brother Malcolm Fletch TV. Love you, brother. I want to thank BGS, who also gave us a appearance tonight, and he made good points about how we can attack this from a political level. Did I forget anybody else that was on here? If I did forget anybody else, I apologize. Everybody in the chat room that's been out there for us. I see Matt D in the chat room. I see 7 for 7. I see Nikki Love, Black in Japan's in there. Brother Duvian was in there. Brother Sonia C's is in there. Fernando Thomas was in there. Lisa Moore was in there. Those that super chatted, thank you. That money's going to be passed over to the GoFundMe. All right, I'm putting some more money in that. I'm putting some money in that GoFundMe. And I think we all should put money, whatever you can. $5, $20, $30, $50. Just give what you can give. Whatever you can afford, you give it. All right. Everybody that's in the chat room, thank you for being here. Everybody that's been listening, thank you for being here. I want to say peace to all of you. And we're going to keep this thing going. And Brother Maurice Muhammad, whatever I can do to be a servant to the situation, I'm here for you, brother. All of us should be here for this brother when he calls upon us. Whatever we can do in our distance, we shall do it. We can do it. Thank you, everybody. Good night. And I want to give everybody a clap that was here with us tonight. I got to give you all a nice clap because I think it was great. Good night, everybody. Thank you, brothers. Good night.